To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We also have Eddie Bader in the studio. How you doing today, Eddie?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing all right. I had a good weekend. Did you do anything special?
Took the boat out. We just had a good weekend. I don't remember anything incredibly special, but it was a great weekend.
Okay.
I enjoyed the weather. Had a few beers. Yeah, pretty good.
You ever have to put down a dog?
Yep.
Really?
Dogs, cats.
Dogs and cats?
Yeah. We live out in the country. You don't. Yeah.
No, I'm just, I get that sometimes it's necessary.
Worse than that, I had a friend of mine who had to put down a cow one time, and I had to help him with that.
Oh, that was the worst?
That was because it's such a large animal. Yeah. Yeah. All tobacco.
Now, what was the reason, are we talking like sickness or like why would you need to put down the dog, or they attack somebody?
Just old age,
Old
sickness.
age. Well, I get that.
Yeah.
But what about a puppy who acts up?
No, I usually can, kind of discipline a puppy.
Yeah, it's kind of your
Correct that
fault for not
behavior,
training
yeah,
them
yeah.
correctly, right?
Yeah.
Well, the news broke this weekend, and it broke because of Kristi Noem telling her own story. There's a book coming out.
Yeah.
You gotta love all these people auditioning to be VP come out with a book.
You got to get it out there somehow. It's a resume.
Right, and you learn all sorts. Sometimes you learn fascinating things about people.
You don't have to put everything in there, Joey.
Well, for instance, I guess we're going to fail this today. We're going to mention Senator Katie Britt. One thing I appreciated about her book,
Yeah?
she reveals some tough times. And then at the end of that chapter, she goes, yeah, I haven't told you everything because some of my stories are mine. I'm like,
I can
ooh,
appreciate that.
I can appreciate that line.
Yeah.
I'm not literally don't have to be naked to the world.
Right.
I don't know if Kristi Noem got that memo.
Oh, yeah, Joey.
Because she's doubling down. It all started with this book. It was, I guess, handed out early to the media, and I believe it was The Guardian who picked up on this particular story. So she's doubled down now on a social media post on a controversial anecdote about killing her puppy. I think it was 14 months, still a puppy. And it's in her upcoming memoir. A Friday report from The Guardian describes snippets of her memoir about her decision to kill various family farm animals, including a 14-month-old puppy named Cricket and an unnamed goat. See, the fact that the goat doesn't have a name, and also the way that goat was described, I'm like, yep, shoot that goat. It'll be good eating later tonight. But, why is she talking about, putting down all these animals?
She's trying to explain to the world she's a tough person, but not only that, because she's a lady, we think she's a little soft, so she's letting us know she's not soft.
She's a frontier
I
woman.
guess so.
She's a prairie woman.
You don't have to tell everybody everything.
She's a farm girl.
That's what she wants people to believe.
But then look at all that makeup.
Right.
Did you do that while you were putting down Cricket? Now, Kristi Noem wasn't my first choice. I actually did meet her at one of those GOP dinners. Our table that I was sitting at was up front, and she sat down right next to me. I'm like, oh, how you doing?
Hello.
She's like, hey, how you doing?
Hey, yeah.
And she's tall for a woman, and then she's very thin, fit, but really thin. And yes, she puts on a lot there. Was very
right?
painted up. I mean, beautiful. But
It ain't all for just the camera then, huh?
right. And I just was never, I don't hate her, but I was never really all that impressed either. And then, seeing that this story come out, I'm like, did you just decide to shoot yourself in the head by talking about your political career?
Why would you put that out there? I mean,
Right. I asked you, have you ever had to put down animals? You were very reluctant.
Yeah,
It's not
something you brag about by no means. Even I don't think Bobby the Butcher brags about it.
Well, and also it needs to be Old Yeller has rabies. He's going to kill us all.
Has to be no other alternative.
Right. Or the cat's 20 years old and can barely walk and is
Right.
constantly soiling himself. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, but I can get that sort of thing. Or that animal literally is dangerous.
Mhm.
But the way she described it, well, I don't know. But here she's defending it on a post to Twitter X. Christy Nome says, I can understand why some people are upset about a 20-year-old story of Cricket, one of the working dogs at our ranch. The problem, if you just talked about a dog, which you gave us the name.
Gave it a cute name, too.
Cricket.
Maybe Adolf wouldn't have been so bad, but Cricket, you know.
Oh, that's my hunting dog, Goring.
Right. I mean, you know.
Wilhelm, we had to shoot him yesterday.
Yeah.
He was talking about like iron and blood and stuff, and we had to put him down. But she says, whether running the ranch or in politics, again, this is back to that X post on Sunday from Christy Nome. Whether running the ranch or in politics, I've never passed on my responsibilities to anyone else to handle. Even if it's hard and painful, I followed the law and was being a responsible parent, dog owner, and neighbor. In both instances, dealing with the goat and this dog named Cricket,
Yeah.
she was saying that Cricket had been an aggressive personality and that the goat was nasty and mean. I believe that about a goat.
Come on. That's one of the cool things about a goat.
Yeah, they are kind of
You
ornery.
know what they are, yeah.
Right. Nome's Sunday defense comes as a last-ditch effort to quell the flurry of doubts that the situation has stirred as she competes for Trump's VP nomination. She's in the running against, and his stock is rising. Doug, remember Doug Burgum? Battle of the Dakotas
Yes.
here.
Okay.
Senator Tim Scott,
Yeah.
Elise Stefanik. Maybe this is what Trump wants. Like, he wants a number two that's like,
I kind of feel like it's none of the above. He's going to pull the outsider in.
Do you think he goes with somebody like a Vivek or a Ron DeSantis?
I would love to see that, especially after this weekend. You know, we saw that them two were together.
DeSantis and
Yeah.
Trump were, yeah.
I feel really good about that combination, better than that and him and Vivek, because I think Vivek, I'd rather have him doing his own thing, to be very honest, than a VP.
Well,
it's
and-
kind of tied.
And people across the political spectrum, back to Kristi Noem, are saying, like, okay, she can't be VP now.
Oh, come on.
No, but, like,
That doesn't necessarily
Come on,
show a
think it
character
through.
flaw. It's just
no, it telling the truth about it proudly to show I'm a frontier woman can make the hard, painful choices. And I killed Cricket dead.
did she say it like that?
Well, I don't know if she said it like that. It's how it comes across. Well, she first says it's untrainable. Cricket was untrainable, which, okay. And if you've been training a bunch of other hunting dogs, maybe Cricket was untrainable. And they're going in and Cricket killed somebody else's chickens and then tried to bite Christy. So you can see she killed, that's what she means by follow the law. If you have an animal, a dog that kills livestock, you put it down or can put it down.
But her being, how long ago was this? Like
20 years ago.
Okay. Did she have any notoriety then that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Other than like, look at that frontier woman working.
Well, we know, I know there's a million other dogs out there in that similar situation, but people try to either try to contain them as best they can at first, but also try to rehome it. They don't just go,
Right.
hey, go get the gun.
Right.
I'm going to teach him a lesson right now.
Let's go to the gravel pit.
Right.
Like, I'm imagining all the, you know what I mean? Like, that is not, like, the story she told, she tried to do it, like, way too tightly, too. She added later, but this wasn't in the book, that he killed the chickens as she was explaining herself.
Well, I mean, that if a dog generally bites a chicken, that's about all it takes. I mean,
Right. I think, like, there's this one guy who's always walking his pit around the neighborhood I live in now, and I just want to roll in the window and go, damn, that's a thick boy! But you know that dog will kill some chickens, and he
Oh, yeah.
looks like a sweet dog. Like, he's
I'm sure he is.
constantly exercised, well trained.
He's
He's
probably-
minds
yeah.
him on the leash. You can just watch how he walks with his owner. Like, but yeah, dogs are going to be dogs,
I mean, I just,
and
if
it's kind
she's
of
in-
on you as the trainer, right?
Yeah, if she's in the farming community, I would think she could have rehomed the dog, and maybe she was just caught up in the moment and like, you know, she killed my favorite Silky, and I gotta take care of it. I don't know. I would think there'd be alternatives. But who am I? I killed a 12-pack of Busch Light this weekend just to watch it die.
Well, but, this is getting eyeballs on the conversation about the Trump VP race.
Well, he knows that he's got a tough one in her. If Biden leaves that dog that he's got that bites people at the White House, well, he's got somebody who's going to take care of it for him.
So here is the full Kristi Noem statement. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on this. I have never had to put down a dog. Well, I was young and we had to euthanize, not in the backyard. We had to take it to the vet.
So you use a big word because you use chemicals instead of a
We had to
gun?
put down one of them. Yeah, it's different, though. Doing it with your own hand, in some respects, I might respect more you taking your own responsibility. I can see what Kristi Noem was trying to say, in all seriousness. But it was our little beagle, Nike, because she had a Nike swoosh on her back, like, naturally. I'm like, okay, well, that's the name.
Yeah.
And some awful rare disease where her intestinal bile was getting into her bloodstream, and she was literally she was in pain, and she was trying to attack all of us, and not like a dog's just been hit by a car, that sort of. Yeah. And so we knew it was time. It was one of the saddest. I've never seen my dad cry. He did that day. So it's awful.
Yeah.
But here's what Kristi Noem said in full. I can understand why some people are upset about a 20-year-old story of Cricket, one of the working dogs at our ranch in my upcoming book, No Going Back. Indeed, no going back. The book is filled with many honest stories of my life, good and bad days, challenges, painful decisions, and lessons learned. What I learned from my years of public service, especially leading South Dakota through COVID, is people are looking for leaders who are authentic, willing to learn from the past, and don't shy away from tough challenges. My hope is anyone reading this book will have an understanding that I always work to make the best decisions I can for the people in my life. The fact is, South Dakota law states that dogs who attack and kill livestock can be put down. Can, not shall. Given that Cricket
It's following the law, Joey.
such a cute... No, that had nothing to do with the law. Do you bring Cricket, little, like Jiminy Cricket? Like you killed your conscience? Given that Cricket had shown aggressive behavior towards people by biting them, I decided what I did. Whether running the ranch or in politics, I have never passed on my responsibilities to anyone else to handle, even if it's hard and painful.
You could have come up with a better story.
As I explained in the book, it wasn't easy, but often the easy way isn't the right way, Eddie.
Good Lord.
272-9228.
Even the person who wrote the book for her should have said, maybe you got any other stories? Maybe this is not the one.
Let's go to Eric the dog. Hey, Eric.
What up, dog?
It's amazing that people think that it's okay. You give a 6-week running start on a kid, and you can put him down, no problem. But a puppy, that's just a bridge too far.
Unfortunately,
Isn't it funny
the
how
world we live in.
Oh, well, get
isn't that a
ready.
weird dynamic?
My op-ed coming out tomorrow. I'll read it in a second. You're touching on a lot of my thoughts, Eric.
I mean, the duplicity of what they say and then what they tell us we can do or should do or how we act. It's just like, I'm really supposed to sit here and take this? Because at some point,
Yes.
I'm just not listening to you. I don't care what you say. You can pass all the laws you want to. I'm going to do what I want to do. And if you catch me, then we'll talk about it. And if you don't, then, oh, well. And I mean that in general. They're your laws, enforce them how you want.
But you got to think about it like these political Machiavellians, these psychopathic, sociopathic narcissists, especially the ones that run campaigns. Oh, but the ones I know are lovely people.
Of course they are.
They're not dark triad types like that. They're
No.
lovely people who are earnest and care about the country.
Profit. Oh, yeah, the country.
Right, they care about the country. But think about it like one of them. You're probably going to pick a woman for VP because you want to win with women, because, women love women. They're never tearing each other down.
Good.
So we're going to pick a woman to reach to the suburban woman
Right.
that Trump keeps losing because he reminds them of their ex-husband. And so
true.
you pick a woman who volunteered the story that she killed her puppy named Cricket. It's not so much that she put down the dog and thought it was necessary. It's that she told this story and sort of like, well, you know, it happened 20 years ago. And not thinking it through politically, I'll put it that way.
Right.
Well, you don't. I mean, everybody, probably every guy listening to this, and probably a few women, has had to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
And nobody goes running towards that bridge and be like, ooh, me, 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 me.
Right.
That's something that generally gets delegated to the dad that he has to contend with, and it's nobody runs to do that stuff, man. I mean,
Well, let me ask
and
you,
then for her
Eric,
to wear like a hard, I made a hard decision. Well, congratulations, welcome to the human race.
let me ask you, if you were to ever write a book about yourself, would you put something like that in your book? And then there was
No,
a
I'm gonna
time
put the
I had
good
to take
parts in
down the
there.
dog. Right.
No. Half the stuff that I'm embarrassed about or that I don't feel great about,
Yeah.
definitely not going in the book.
So if that
Unless-
book was your resume, would you put that on your resume?
No.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
That's
I mean,
something
we
like
live in
if
a-
you sit down with Barbara Walters or whoever that would be these days, and they like have to
Oh,
drag
wow,
it out
wow.
of you. Yeah. And you have to be crying. And
Oh, yeah, you have to be crying with
Don't
regret.
put it in like cold, hard, like text in a book.
You would have to say, I've never told anyone this story before. I've been ashamed of it my whole life. I really feel like I need to get this off my chest. And then they would feel
Well,
sorry.
I mean, Joe, you already screwed it up. So, you know, the Katie Britt mantra, we all know I'm not a fan of that. So you getting on there and crying about it ain't, it really just makes it seem ingenuine. I'm a mother and a wife and a pet murderer. I can't take it anymore. All these extra chickens come across the border. What are we going to do
You know,
about
I
those
think
eggs?
you just have a problem with strong women.
I think you might be onto something there, Joseph. I think so.
Yeah.
I think
That's
you're like
it.
the kid in class pulling on pigtails, thinking I'll be the bully, and then she'll like me.
Right. That's the same thing that that's the same reason I'm a racist. It's because I don't like Obama. So I see your point.
All right,
I see your point.
right, ironclad logic, right?
The way you went about that is just astounding. No wonder you have a award-winning show on TV here.
That's how it happens.
I mean,
You do the work.
radio.
Yeah,
You
you got to
do
put
the
in the
work.
work.
Just pound that rock.
Speaking of pounding, y'all have a nice day.
You too, brother. Whew.
Let's go to Charles. Hey, Charles.
What's up, Charles?
What's up, brother? I was going to say a couple points. Most of my life, all I've ever had, whether it was American Bulldogs, whether it was actual Pit Bull Terriers, and I've had to use pretty harsh discipline on some of them. And some of them that I used harsh discipline on, I mean, they were the best dogs in the world. I'm talking about they'd play with the grandkids in the mud in the creek, and you couldn't even spank the grandkids, and they'd be on you. But I can tell you right now, if one of them ever turned on one of my grandkids or acted like they were going to bite one of my grandkids, they'd have been 3 foot under. I mean, period.
Right.
I mean, no hesitation. Now, I had two, one that was 7 years old and one that was 14 years old. Now, I'm talking about human years. I ain't talking about dog years, because they were old, especially Fat Mama. When I came home and found her in the creek and she couldn't pull herself out the creek,
Yeah.
I didn't have the heart to put her down. I had to call a buddy because he wasn't invested in her like
Right.
I was.
Right, right.
I would sooner shoot a person that did something bad than I could her, you know.
Oh, I get it.
I mean, I had a lot of years in with her, and she was very good to the family. So I can understand where the lady's coming from. It don't really bother me. I mean, she made a decision, and I mean, you know, people's animals. You know, I have chickens, I have turkeys, I have rabbits. And I mean, I had to take my belt off to my bulldog when I first started breeding rabbits because he'd get in there and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had to let her know, you know, as far as she's concerned, I'm alpha around there. And I had to let her know that they were babies. And after I disciplined her, I took her over there to the rabbit, and I looked her in her eyes, and I said, these are babies. You leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she won't go nowhere near that rabbit pen because she knows if she hears my truck coming and she's out in the yard, she runs and gets on the deck. because she knows that she isn't supposed to mess with any of those. And I can let my chickens out to free grade. She doesn't mess with them. Now, if I have a chicken die or something like that, you know, like a snake gets it or something, I'll give her the chicken. Let her eat it, you know. But you got to, dogs are not stupid.
No.
Dogs are not stupid at all, man. They know, son, when you scorn one, they know what time it is.
Well, I'll put it this way. They're smart enough to play dumb. And that's pretty daggone smart.
But if you know, Silkies can go for a lot of money. We're talking about getting into Silkies. And they go for, I'm talking about lots of money. And so if this dog had a habit of doing that or was showing that trait and biting people, you know, if you don't have the heart to take your belt off and spank it a few times and to get it out of its mind, I mean, she probably did the best thing, to be honest with you. I mean, but that's just my opinion. And you know what they say about it.
That's right.
But, you know, in politics, they say if you're explaining, you're losing. And the fact that on this book launch and her trying to be VP, we're talking about the ethics of putting down a dog is not a good look politically for Christine.
Right.
Oh, but I tell you what, some of them politicians, we need to take our belts off, too.
Amen.
Don't say the next part. Don't say the next part, Charles. Appreciate it, man.
See you, Charles.
Bye.
272-9228. You know, we're on a roll here and on this topic, so why not? I think I should just go ahead and read the op-ed I have. It's called Vote for Me or My Opponent Will Kill This Dog.
Okay.
Now, I already shared that Kristi Noem quote that what I learned from my years of public service is people are looking for leaders who are authentic, willing to learn from the past, and don't shy away from tough challenges.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I followed up with another quote. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists of chiefly the vulgar. Niccolo Machiavelli. So Republican South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem may or may not have made a mistake when she killed her failed hunting dog Cricket. But Noem definitely made a mistake telling the political world about it. The last thing the vulgar crowd wants to see is some vulgar truth made plain. Noem should have known that authenticity in politics is akin to painting one's face with makeup. The public doesn't want to see what you literally look like sans blush, eyeliner, base, and mascara. They want you to keep up appearances. They want you to lie to them in an acceptable and believable way. They want you to doll up the naked truth. The uglier and bloodier that truth is, the more fraudulently it must be presented. In fairness, I can see the self-portrait Noem was trying to create. An independent, self-reliant frontier woman who can make the tough choices fate at necessity demands. Though the ability to make painful decisions may be an admirable quality for a political leader, being shockingly honest about it is to commit political suicide in America. Noem is the 2024 political cycle's Kurt Cobain. Her hopes of being Donald Trump's VP pick are now shot through, plastered on social media for all to behold. The political hit ads against Noem write themselves, especially for anyone who remembers the famous 1973 National Lampoon magazine cover showing an adorable dog with a gun pointed to his head with the caption, "If you don't buy this magazine, we'll kill this dog." In a cruel twist of ironic fate, the dog held hostage in the image, Mr. Cheeseface, was tragically shot on his owner's Vermont farm by an unidentified hunter in 1976. The hunter shot dogs all season for allegedly chasing deer, which is legal, or was then in Vermont. America of the 1970s was certainly a different country. Regardless, Mr. Cheeseface didn't kill himself, nor did Cricket. But Noem put down her own political career by telling the truth about her steely resolve to pull the trigger. Truth is, Americans are all for violence, not against chicken-killing puppies, but against other human beings. As long as it's dolled up, Americans understand that sometimes fate of necessity demands we kill people and blow stuff up while lying about it, or at least help others kill people and blow stuff up while lying about it. As history shows, man is the ultimate predator to man, so we must defend ourselves by projecting our ideals abroad by force. Republics must occasionally act like they are run by beastly dictators, forever expanding in the name of defense. Better to be predator than prey. And beyond questions of war, some Americans believe that necessity can demand doctors must kill a child in their mother's womb, or God forbid, assist some poor soul in suicide. 10 states or areas that's now legal in America. Yep. However, one must remember to talk about all this killing in a certain tone of voice, a tone I refuse to use in this essay. Else the public gets squeamish, disgusted, and deeply offended. The umbrella of healthcare provides plenty of palliative euphemisms for domestic killing, while foreign killing has many spoonfuls of sugar to make the medicine go down. From appeals for keeping the world safe for democracy, to the coldly clinical term collateral damage, to geostrategic concerns over hegemony, to the more philosophical musings that some awful decisions are simply inevitable. Yet more than advocating killing, the vulgar political class loves to accuse people of killing. American politics is often a parade of hostage-taking, more outrageous than Mr. Cheeseface with a gun to his head on National Lampoon. Cut this budget proposal? People will die. Vote against my climate change plan? People will die. Vote against my health care bill? People will die. Vote against gun control? People will die. Vote against supplemental funding to Ukraine? People will die, you dirty Putin stooge. Other than hyperbolic accusations of death, the hostage-taking continues. For instance, most Americans seem to hate the prospect of a Trump versus Biden rematch. Yet most will be forced to express support for one of the two as a hostage would on video. I suspect most Americans would rather leave one another alone, but those political few who are inclined to dominate their fellow man will not allow it. You must vote for some master, or people will die. The necessity of fraud, one can see, is contained in Machiavelli's description of the two humors in all states, one desiring to dominate and the other not to be dominated. That's from Harvey Mansfield in his introduction to Niccolo Machiavelli's Discourses on Livy. A lot of the founders read it, folks, especially Adams. He continues, since government is domination, those who do not desire it must necessarily be fooled into accepting it, which is fraud. Election is one principal method. While the people are choosing who is to govern them, they forget their desire not to be governed at all. For injuries one chooses for oneself hurt less than those imposed by someone else. I wonder if Noam would agree that the fatal injury she has now given herself by admitting to the killing of Cricket was better than any imposed by someone else. Either way, I hope Cricket is chirping, a last laugh in doggy heaven. Though his death, like so many other deaths we doll up to maintain our public appearances, was unnecessary. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And legal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Hello, I'm Johnny Sullivan from Sinclair's Restaurant. We're almost 27 years, and our business is as good as ever, and I give credit to Blue Water Broadcasting for keeping us on the air and letting people know what we do. Advertising with them has been a huge help to our business. I've seen a uptick from day one. If you need to grow your business, I highly recommend you give them a call.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of April draws to a close and May begins, temperatures will continue very warm. We've got at least the risk of some widely scattered storms on the radar, perhaps later on today, and maybe a better chance of scattered storms tonight and first half of the day on Tuesday. Today's high 86, tonight's low 64. We'll be up around 83 on Tuesday, and then teasing the 90-degree mark on Wednesday and Thursday with more sunshine as the brand new month of May begins. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, your ASE.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. You can always go to the YouTube page, like and subscribe, folks. That's the name of the channel, Joey Clark Live, or watch us on the X platform at the Joey Clark, or on Facebook. Just search my name on the Book of Faces. It should come right up. Now, I often, like Eric, who we just talked to, Eddie, Eric the dog, he is often asked, well, what do we do? And I've had several people ask, well, what do we do? And I'm like, number one, why are you asking me? I'm just a fancy idiot that knows how to talk. But if I had to venture a guess, most of us, our job is to get our own house in order and keep our head on a swivel and our eyes open, and to look out for folks that will rise up as new leaders and champions. Now, can you be a hero or champion in your own life for the people you love? Sure you can.
Sure.
But let's be honest. Most of us ain't going to be like the ones that are written about in the history books. And that's just fine.
Speak for yourself, buddy.
Okay. You sure?
I still got a couple years left.
And what are you going to do?
I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for an occupation yet. Yeah, have you figured out what you're going to do for an occupation?
Are you going to become like King of Jamaica or something?
Considered it, but they got a whole mafia system over there, and let's face it, I ain't going to blend in there.
Yeah, but that might be like, look, he's
the White Dawn.
He's the Great White Hope man. Yeah.
I won't make it 3 days over there like that.
I think you'd end up dead.
Don't sell yourself short,
You'd
Joey.
you'd be done quicker than cricket.
You could.
You wouldn't even make it 14 months.
You could discover something tomorrow. Literally, you could show it to the world, and you'd be the next greatest thing since gravy.
So it could be folks that you elect. You might love the new elected official.
Yeah.
You might think it's Trump. You might really think like it's Coach Tuberville or it's Katie Britt. You might, Kay Ivy's lovely, but it's not confusing anybody.
Yeah.
She's solid. I'll put it that way. Solid, sugar.
That is. She's solid.
And the more folks who I know who know her say she's actually lovely to hang out
like
with.
the fifth most loved governor in the United States or something like that. So,
But it probably isn't going to be elected officials. It might be like we go through a great awakening. It might be like a new pastor that rises up and captures the imagination of millions and steers them back to God.
That could very well
be a
happen,
real
yeah.
thing. It could be a great innovator that creates something nobody ever thought was possible, that inspires people to literally reach for the stars.
I could see that too.
That could happen. It could be some anonymous person. Do we still not know the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, who created Bitcoin?
Him and the guy who put the bricks out there. Neither one of them do we know their name.
Right. Maybe it's the same guy.
Hey, Joey.
I want chaos, so my currency will grow.
Don't make me go down that rabbit hole.
Or something like that. Yeah, maybe it was just the agency behind it all. Yeah, maybe you've opened the CIA, folks. But, I've often said I think Elon Musk is one of these people. Now,
agreed.
When I say somebody's a champion or a leader, doesn't mean they're perfect, like they're moral exemplars. No.
I don't think we're going to
Not necessarily.
human race, man.
Right. Don't worship anybody.
Right.
I think that's something I would hope most people could agree on. Are you God?
No.
I'm not either. So I haven't met somebody who is.
Yeah.
So
Had a few conversations with the guy.
one story, it was a heck of a wind-up for this simple story. Elon Musk. It's still the top story there at 1819news.com. Elon Musk has applied for a money transmitter license here in the great state of Alabama. Now, for folks who don't know, Alabama's Securities Commission and our regulators here are low-key like the gold standard, for lack of a better term, when it comes to financial regulations. Like they're really top-notch folks. They were one of the earliest states to call out a lot of these cryptocurrencies as, crap and scams, which they were. So it's interesting that Elon is coming. I'm sure he's doing this in every state across the union, but he is working with the Alabama folks. And if he can get a transmitter license here in Alabama, he might be able to show, well, yeah, look, I've been approved by this place, this place, this place.
Give him some credibility.
Don't get me started, though, on New York. Apparently that's just esoteric labyrinth of regulation.
They actually have regulation there?
Yeah, so much regulation, it's almost like they don't have regulation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost like you have so many laws, the law shouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
It's so arbitrary. But Elon Musk's social media company X, formerly known as Twitter, recently applied for a money transmitter license in Alabama. This is according to the Alabama Securities Commission. X was formerly known as Twitter before Musk acquired the company in April 2022. He rebranded the company and changed its name to X in July 2023. Amanda Sin, ASC director, told 1819 News on Friday, we are in the process of reviewing the application. Generally, businesses apply for money transmitter licenses when they plan to engage in business activity that involves transmitting money or stored value from one party to another for a fee, Sin said. These services often include payment processing, debt consolidation management, and check cashing, to name a few. For example, PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo are all licensed as money transmitters. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency ATMs are licensed money transmitters as they are being used to transmit and stored value. Musk has previously said he wants X to turn into an everything app.
Right.
Which features beyond social media, like the ability for users to send money to others on X. According to Reuters, X will need a money transmitter license in each state to offer those services across the United States.
Isn't there an app like that? I don't know if it's in China or Japan that it's your everything app, social media app, your banking app, everything. So I think, because I remember Jonathan telling us about it, and I'm assuming that's what he's doing. It's just saying, hey, it's already here, and this many gazillion people are using it. Why not? I not be the guy that bring it here to the U.S.?
Right.
So why not?
Well, and it shows, like, why would Elon pay as much money as he did for Twitter?
Oh, yeah. Well,
It wasn't like he wanted to keep the old model.
There's another thing coming. Remember,
Right.
TikTok's out October.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well,
Remember who
don't
bought-
they just have to change ownership?
Nah, they'll be out. Well, I don't think they'll ever meet what the regulators really want. I think that's by intent. But remember, when he bought X, he came with Vine, and he did make a comment, I think on April 19th, 17th, something to that effect of, hey, Vine ain't dead and gone yet.
Right.
So look for
Right.
more value coming from him.
Also, you've got Grok, the AI they
Yeah.
developed there, using a lot of the
Yep.
X platforms, information that's constantly going back and forth. And then if you add to it, money transmitting, especially, he co-found PayPal. So
Yep.
this is a business
what
he
he's
knows
doing,
pretty
yeah.
well. It will do most of what PayPal or Venmo or Cash App can do. But I'd imagine they're also going to hook into something called, if it works, we'll see. They keep making a lot of promises. But you know what, Jack Dorsey, when Dorsey
Yeah.
left Twitter, and I think Dorsey was kind of happy Elon bought it. I still, to this day, maintain Jack Dorsey and Twitter's relationship is like Dr. Frankenstein to the monster.
Really?
Yeah, I think Dorsey created this thing. It got incredibly popular and valuable, and then influential.
Yeah.
And then some very serious people with very serious suggestions came to visit him.
I see.
And so this beautiful thing
heard
he
of these people,
created,
yeah.
they got their hooks in it.
Yep.
And these folks don't take yes for an answer. They're like, well, I'm glad you did that for me, but
Right.
I'm going to need another favor
Give a little
from
bit
you
more.
down the road. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think Dorsey kind of was happy to get out
see.
of there. And then Elon has the juice to be able to stand up to those very serious people. So what did Dorsey go do? Well, he's probably doing a lot of things.
He took the money and ran.
No, he's trying to work on what's called the Lightning Network, where you very
Right.
quickly can transmit Bitcoin and not have to go on chain, as they call it, which takes a little longer, is more expensive.
More regulators.
So for everyday people like you, say, want to do a subscription to one of your favorite newsletters or one of your favorite reporters, and you want to pay them in Bitcoin, like $10 a month,
Mhm.
that can be done with the Lightning Network, and now it's hooked into X.
The
X
network's
could
already
end
there.
up being an incredibly valuable asset down the road. Now, could it crash and burn? Yeah, that's always a
That's the risk with
possibility.
anything, though.
Always a possibility.
When's the last time PayPal crashed and burned? A lot of them have, Cash App was one I remember maybe 2-3 months ago. There was a weekend where Cash App had issues and people were freaking out because a lot of people use that Cash App. But by Monday,
I've kind of gone off Cash App.
yeah, well, this is what a lot of people did. But by Monday, they had it up and going again. But they lost a huge amount of subscribers. And a lot of people went to Venmo and other places because they said, hey, I thought you guys could never go down.
Yeah, I don't find Cash App very secure.
Yeah.
A lot of scams around it. And yeah, I don't think they have enough layers of security. I'll put it that way.
But for a lot of people, it's as same as cash. For a lot of my vendors,
Oh, sure.
Cash App,
Yeah.
Cash App's the way to go.
Yeah.
But I think, and I don't know if Cash App does. I know Venmo will cap you too. You've got
Oh,
to
sure.
submit some other paperwork.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you give and take there.
Yeah.
So interesting to see Elon is making this move, and that
think it's
here in
cool.
the state of Alabama, I think he's going to end up with that license.
Yeah.
We'll see here. 272-9228. If you want to hop in on the program, wherever you want to go, folks. How was your weekend? But first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, guys, two things affect most men as we mature. One is erectile dysfunction, the other low testosterone. In fact, that low T could be leading to the ED, or it's certainly contributing to the problem. And these sort of things are nothing to deny, put off, be ashamed about, and it's certainly not something to wait to get fixed. I know guys hate going to the doctor. I hate going to the doctor,
Yeah,
but
buddy.
Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of fellas just like us. The reality is pills often quit working, and guys start making excuses for not coming to bed. There are actually studies now, folks, that show men will be more irritable and argumentative on purpose right before bed just to avoid failing at intimacy. So they will purposely fail in a certain way so they don't fail in a way that,
gotcha.
They want to control the controllable, so to speak.
Gotcha.
So here's the deal, fellas. If you're lacking motivation, energy, and drive, including a decrease in sex drive, always tired, feel like you're walking through your life in a fog, losing muscle mass, putting on unwanted weight gain, knowing whether or not you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And did you know, as you age, a testosterone and PSA check should be part of your annual men's health routine? Well, the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health has low-T treatments that truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Sweet brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. You can actually book. Yeah, well, tell me about it. You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey there, folks. It's your trusted real estate professionals, Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader, here with an exciting announcement. We have made the move to Forest Meadows Homes and Lands. That means we're now even more equipped to serve you and your real estate needs.
That's right. Whether you're buying or selling, working with us ensures that you're in the best hands. Personalized service, expert advice, and now more options and opportunities.
So why wait? Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. Give me, Hannah Grantham, a call at 334-368-6358.
Or me, Eddie Bader, 334-322-0662, and let's get you moving.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
What's up, Joey?
What's up?
What'd you do this weekend?
What did I do this week?
You mowing of the grass? Did a little work out there? Have we contracted this out?
In the process of it, it might take long enough where I have to do it one more time. But, yeah, I'm done doing it.
Cool.
I'm just tired of it.
Ah, dude, what are you telling? I mean, I love to give you crap about it, but look my way. I haven't mowed my grass, and I couldn't tell you the last time.
Right, and honestly, it really isn't just the mowing. If all I had to do was mulch it.
It's the edging.
Edging.
You do the bagging thing?
Or how about, like, having to cut hedges that are really tall, so if you got the thing up here. Yeah. No, thanks. No thanks.
I appreciate the fact that you're creating employment for someone, Joey.
Yeah, no, and I know a guy.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah.
See, there you go, man.
He was helping me out with my old place. I'm like, hey, I'll hit you up if I ever. He's like, thanks, man. And a few months later, I've hit him up.
There you go. That's cool.
So I look forward to that getting done. No, I didn't. I wrote a little bit. I went and ate lunch.
Did you play any guitar?
I did. I didn't record anything, but I did play some guitar. Yes.
Slap the bass around a little bit?
Yeah, I'm getting better at it.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, you got to build up the strength. Or
you got the calluses?
Yeah, a weird one right there on the side of my thumb. Like
you sure that's a callus? You might want to get that checked out.
Yeah. Right.
That might just be a wart, man. I don't know if that's a callus.
No, that's... Yeah, just using it as a hammer.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Just slapping the crap out of that bass guitar.
Good deal.
And it's cool these days, the resources that are available to learn stuff, learn techniques. Pretty amazing what's available for folks out there.
Now, were you a big Guitar Hero guy?
Yeah, I was around. Well, Guitar Hero and Rock Band were real big when I was college, freshman, sophomore year of college. It was real big.
Yeah, I remember my son had all that. The only thing I didn't understand was why didn't they teach you kind of how to play real guitar while you were doing that?
Because it's
was it just not a feasible thing?
I can play guitar.
Yeah,
fairly well. Not great. I don't claim to be some great guitarist, genius guitarist, but it's very different. Like mashing a button, flicking that thing is very.
Have you ever?
Is very different than like actually fretting a guitar or a bass.
Have you ever felt confused when you're playing with one instead of the other? Do you ever try to make a guitar move on the air guitar?
No,
guitar.
No, because they're just so
that much.
It's so different. But when we played Rock Band, I like playing drums.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what Justin had, was a drum set. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and we would just get like on the weekends super drunk. We're in college now,
of course. Yeah.
And we'd ask the neighbors upstairs, and we would have the rock show going at full blast. Like you could clearly hear it in the parking lot.
Cool.
Nobody complained.
Of course not. There's a band. We got a live band upstairs tonight.
It was good times.
Good
It
deal.
was very good times. Hey, let's see who this is on line
Right.
one. You're on there. Who's this?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, who's
How
this?
you?
Hey,
Hey,
Duke.
Duke. How you doing?
Hey.
How you
I
doing,
thought to
bud?
play with you for a minute. I'm doing good. I hear a little breeze coming up, in and out.
Yeah, it's been pretty windy all weekend.
Yeah. So how's it going, fellas?
Great.
Okay.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm just trying to. I'm gonna go down to Wind Creek sometime next couple of days. I'm gonna talk to Reed. Me and Reed gonna talk. We're gonna see what's going on. You know, he's trying to help the police out nowadays, so we're gonna.
Oh,
talk
Sweet
about
Creek.
it in more
You meant Sweet
great
Creek.
detail. You know.
Yeah, you're going to do that. Yeah, y'all might have that in common.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hadn't talked to him in a while. We need to go down there and talk and see what's going on. What's up with that though, Joey? Talk to me, baby.
I haven't looked deeply into it, but on first blush, I would vote no.
Why?
Because where does it say in the Constitution we have to do that? And how's this actually going to stop the shooting and killing that's actually going on in the city and in the county?
I've heard a phrase coming up say a fool and money will soon part one another. So a fool and a gun is not good.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fool with driving bad habits shouldn't have license to drive, should they?
No, but they do. I see them every day.
I know. But I'm just trying to make a point about the gun. I'm trying to make a point. Me and Reed and some other people. You know?
I think it's the illusion of control.
Mm-hmm.
And really, all at the end of the day, it just transfers some more money into people's pocket.
Correct you me. If a group of them thugs, like in Mobile, pop up at East Chase out there, going to be a problem.
I think they could pop up anywhere in Montgomery and be a problem.
That's my point right there. See? So, we need to kind of put a little water on this.
So if we can pass this law, those kind of thugs would never show up nowhere? They'd all
No,
go
give
away, go to
a
church?
little power back to the police department. Help the sheriff.
They got arrest powers. What more powers they
Yeah,
need?
they already have the arrest
take
powers
me
for
to
people
jail.
who are menacing, brandishing, all sorts of things, threatening behavior.
But Cunningham says they can't even ask these fellas a name. They got a fake name. They can't identify who's holding these rifles on their shoulders in the car, and everything.
Well, last time I checked, I thought it was illegal to give a cop a fake name. You're doing something with the part of an investigation.
Well, he making it sound like that bill that everybody passed and happy about, jumping up and down, shouting about, took away some of those rights or whatever as far as police power, or whatever.
Yeah, well, I just don't think it's going anywhere.
I
I'm
don't
not
know, but
I like Reed very much.
then I
I
saw a
think he's a
commercial. I
great
saw a
fellow.
commercial where the doggone police pulling over a woman. Somebody she can't go out of town and get no books or something like that. I saw that on TV. It got to be true because Fox News showed it.
Right.
Oh man, I'm trying not to talk about politics today. I'm gonna stay away from it as far as I can. All right, how about that?
Too pretty of a day.
Huh?
It's too pretty of a day.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't want to talk about how CNN's got a poll that Trump's leading Biden by 6
I
points?
like that correspondent dinner. I like the correspondent dinner thing.
Oh,
That's all right there.
Fruity little event for
I like-
nerds and ugly
My
people.
best part with a guy who can mark everybody, can talk like anybody. What's his name?
I didn't even watch it. I don't know what you're talking about.
He can do Trump real good, just like you. And what's that guy's name?
Oh, does he
Somebody
do
call it.
impressions across the board? Like, also?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're
he
talking
did
about. I can't
for
remember his name.
That boy bad. like
He's
that,
really
man.
good. That guy is.
He did old Mr. McConnell, boy. I like what he did. Midget with no eyes, put the glasses on and everything.
Yeah.
Man, I just hollering at you and just.
On the
thinking about
correspondence
Reed.
dinner, have you ever heard the Lewis Black whole stand-up that he did in his actual stand-up set? Like, he talked about doing the White House Correspondence Dinner. And he, I think, for lack of a better word, ended up feeling like a whore. And when his folks were there, and he thought it'd be this proud moment, and he goes, "What'd you think?" They're like, "Never do something like this again."
Yeah. They probably had the same sentiments that he did.
Oh, boy. Well, anybody get shot in Montgomery this past weekend?
Oh, yeah, a few folks.
Huh?
Yep, a few folks.
No, somebody got shot at a funeral. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, Calvin was talking about that. Somebody got shot at a damn funeral home. Boy, that's all right there. Huh?
Yep. Well, I appreciate the
Well,
call,
I
Duke.
know.
You're
I'm
a ray of sunshine
these
here.
are-
I'm talking about all that.
Yeah.
Ray of sunshine.
All right.
Because the more we talk about it, I'm sure they'll get right on it, right?
Of course, they're working on it right now.
Right. They're
Right
working
now.
on it. How about this? Let's hit our top of the hour break. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
That's SRN News. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Leave campus or face suspension. That's the ultimatum from Columbia University to student protesters who are camped out on the New York school's campus. All across the country, college administrators are trying to clear out anti-Israel protesters as classes wrap up for the semester and graduation ceremonies approach. Sulphur, Oklahoma was one of several towns in Oklahoma hit hard by weekend tornadoes. Residents and business owners are coming to grips now with flattened homes and buildings. 4 people were killed in the violent weather. A suspected missile attack by Yemen's Houthi rebels targeted a ship in the Red Sea today. It's the latest assault in their campaign against international shipping. The Houthis have launched more than 50 attacks on shipping, seized one vessel, and sunk another since November. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-256-5533. That's 800-256-5533. 800-256-5533.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Your health and well-being can quickly be impacted by changing weather. The Johnny Adams Law Firm wants you to remain safe and be weather alert with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of April draws to a close and May begins, temperatures will continue very warm. We've got at least the risk of some widely scattered storms on the radar, perhaps later on today, and maybe a better chance of scattered storms tonight and first half of the day on Tuesday. Today's high 86, tonight's low 64. We'll be up around 83 on Tuesday, and then teasing the 90-degree mark on Wednesday and Thursday with more sunshine as the brand new month of May begins. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A $15,000 reward is now being offered in the shooting that paralyzed a Montgomery woman. Amy Dix was sitting in her vehicle in the 5500 block of Atlanta Highway around 1 p.m. on April 12th when she was shot. The senseless act left Amy Dix paralyzed from the chest down. We are coming down to the final days of the legislative session, and state lawmakers are still negotiating a state lottery and gambling bill. The House and Senate are at odds on whether to allow sports betting and multiple casinos in the state. A joint conference committee is working on a compromise between the two chambers. Troy University has received a moon tree from NASA. The special trees were sent to the moon 2 years ago and are now being distributed. Troy was selected to receive the tree from the flight of seedlings which traveled around the moon on the Artemis 1 mission in 2022. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop.
Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
But beyond that, you have to teach people how to de-escalate circumstances.
Right.
De-escalate. So instead of anybody coming at you and the first thing you do is shoot to kill, you shoot them in the leg.
Joey Clark.
Wise words from President Biden there. Wouldn't you agree?
If you shoot me in the leg, it is not going to de-escalate the situation. It's going to make this bear much more angry.
Well, he wasn't talking about you.
Okay. Just say it. Just say it.
You don't think shooting somebody in the leg will get them to shut up?
If they don't have a gun.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's go to TS. Hey, TS, how you doing?
Hey, Joey, hang on a minute. Let me put you on my real phone.
Okay.
Oh, you stepped up. Went to
Can you
real
hear-
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
real
like
phone
that.
status.
Goofball on the side. Eddie, 2-5.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't start.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I like him already. Hey, listen.
Hey, Eddie, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you please start?
No, because she's going to bring another pie.
Good.
I
You
can
passed
feel
the
it.
test.
I can
Well done.
feel it.
I was testing him, TS.
Feel it.
Do you guys want me just to hang up instead
No.
of being...
No, I would like another pie, though.
Okay, here's the thing about euthanasia.
Okay.
All right, for mega years, I've always had dogs. Always had animals. And I didn't know for a gazillion years that you could be with them. So, I'd just get the box and be warm and dig the hole and come home. And then I learned about, you can be with them. And yes, it is way hard. So difficult. And Joey, I didn't realize that 18 states in our nation, our republic, do human
No,
euthanasia.
it's 10. 10.
10?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't believe in that as far as humans.
Yeah,
But I
assisted suicide.
Well, yeah, and I mean, sometimes, like, when my dogs are taking down feral kittens, I had to buy it's funny, a pellet rifle where I can only load one shot at a time, but I don't want any animal to suffer. And it's kind of like these, like that guy up in Birmingham a few weeks ago that was caught with the dog ring thing, the killer, whatever they're called, dog fighting ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was so disheartening what he had in the animals. Well, and I'm praying that he doesn't have children. So I guess that's all I want to voice today, if that's okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Joey, do you have anything to say?
No, I was looking up where it's legal and all the distinctions. 10 states and the District of Columbia. And they make it clear that it is medical aid in dying. It is not so-called mercy killing, and the person has to request it, and it's very heavily regulated.
Well, I mean, I have all those living wills, I have all of that stuff for when something happens to me bad, just unhook me. And I've told close friends just to accidentally trip over a tube or a wire or something. I mean, I'm not being distasteful about this,
No.
but I just don't want to. If it's time to go, it's time to go.
Well, no, and I tend to agree with you. I think holding on where you're barely even who you are and you're a vegetable and it costs your family money and, like, quality of life is a thing.
Well, yeah, and I'm a organ donor.
Okay.
You know, like, I'll just take it all from the head to toes, whatever you want to do. Yeah. I'll let you guys go. I don't want to get way into it because then I'll get emotional, and it's only Monday, so it's not time for emotional. But thank you for your time, Joey.
Appreciate it, Tis.
And two pie.
He's answering another call, but I'll let him know you said bye.
Okay, bye.
272-9228. Let's go to Crawdad. Hey, Crawdad.
I was listening to many things. All of a sudden, I thought I heard on the news, your news break, that we're going to be something about the state of Alabama legislators voting on forced dating. I wish to God I had never gotten married, but it was sort of forced. But then I hear this nice lady just now talking, and I hope that Tootie, if Tootie is listening out there, Tootie, you have this poor lady who was shot kind of on the same strip of the Atlanta highway across from Tootie's business place. This poor woman. So when we had the poor folks in Oklahoma, we have such horrible things. I need somebody to call with something positive, because Dylan, was it Thomas last name, author, poet Dylan Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
I think he said that Tug wrote a poem to his dying father, telling his father, go not gently into that good night. I have many times thought of euthanasia, and that if it had to happen to me, I would go to Oregon, not to Denver, Colorado, but I would go to the Oregon. I hope that never happens, because I listened to the reading from the Dylan Thomas. Do not go gently, fight against that night. And that is living to your last moment, because I really, truly, I'll stop talking in 1 second, Mr. Joey. One of the most famous movies to me, 2001 Space Odyssey. At the very end, something wonderful. The last line in the movie, if you go back and watch it, you see something wonderful when we transition from this life to the unknown. Something wonderful. God bless us all.
The undiscovered country. I appreciate it. Thank you, Crawdad.
My.
272-9228. Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, I met this interesting guy down on the beach in Destin, and he was weathered and quite old, and he walked up to me and asked me if I could share my drink with him. And I said, oh, sure. So I gave him a cold beer, and he told me that he used to be with the Harlem Globetrotters. He was like the warm-up guy or something. But anyway, he said that he was spending his last days on this planet there on the beach, and he'd been there for about 10 years waiting for it to happen, and it still hadn't happened. And he said, what a better way to go, to sit here and watch the ocean, watch the women come by in their scantily clad bathing suits, and to share a drink with another human being. And I said, darn, that's not a bad idea. Rather than going to the old folks' home, just sit there on the beach and wait for the old seagull to poop on you.
Well, and it sounds like a good way and a good story to get free drinks for a decade.
This is true.
Yeah, you don't have to buy your drinks, that's for sure.
Right.
And
I
you
wonder
don't
if he
have to wear
ever
your
got
sunglasses.
any of those ladies that way too. I only got a few days left.
Left, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to. He didn't have to wear his sunglasses either because his wife wasn't, with him, so he didn't have to worry about that.
Well, and then after he's like, I feel so alive. It's a miracle. It works. It works.
So I feel better already. I think I can go another 10 years.
Right. Because of you.
Hey, what old Duke doesn't understand is that, we tried this prohibition thing one time. We tried it with alcohol. It didn't work. We tried it with drugs. It
don't really work.
It didn't work. And every time the government gets involved in trying to legislate stuff like this, it just doesn't work. There were 75 homicides in the city of Montgomery 2 years prior to them passing the law. And
right.
You're not going to see any noticeable effect because they have it or they don't have it. I mean, look at Illinois, where the old violent city of Chicago sits in that state. They have, you got to get a concealed permit. You got to go 16 hours of training. You got to pay $150, and then they decide whether you get the permit or not based on your criminal history and all this stuff. I wonder how many of those homicides that occur every night, every weekend in the city of Chicago have been affected by that.
I would say less than 1%.
Yep.
Exactly. You have a good day, gentlemen. Have a good day, Eddie.
Appreciate it, Simpler Days. Yeah, and also numbers show it out, bear it out. In fact, Andrew Sorrell, who really pushed this while he was in the legislature, he knew the numbers off the top of his head. But other states that have gone to constitutional carry or permitless carry, whatever you want to call it, either saw no change or a drop in the problem. So I think it has to do with other means of enforcement and also change of heart, change of lifestyle for certain folks. And it ain't many. I mean, you're talking about, what, let's say a few thousand, but I think it's only a few hundred folks that are really causing the issues.
Yeah.
Where the vast majority of the population here in Montgomery and elsewhere would never do a thing like that. And they're kind of tired of that being, having to look over their shoulder, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I'm tired of the laws that I'm not breaking.
Right.
But the laws that affecting my freedom are constantly getting changed for things I have no control of.
You just want people to die, don't you?
No, I just want to be left alone.
But isn't that such a real thing?
At times.
Like the constant hostage taking, like I was talking about earlier. They do it with everything. Like, I know I suck, but that other guy,
he's a lot worse.
Yeah, he's going to really hurt you. I'll just hurt you less. Okay, thanks, Dad. Let's go to GW. Hey, GW.
Hey, I would like your thoughts on this and maybe other people's thoughts. You were talking about euthanasia, and I believe it was in Netherlands. This is like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. They approved the legally euthanizing a woman in her 20s that was clinically depressed, had been clinically depressed, theoretically all her, I guess, life. And the doctors said she was not going to get over it. She'll not be this way all her life. So depressed, and we agree that she can, we'll put her to death. And they're going through that schedule, and it might have already been done. And that was, and she had a boyfriend, and he agreed. She's just, down the dumps all the time. Which begs the question, if you're so depressed that you want to kill yourself, then you're not mentally right.
If you're depressed, obviously you're not in your right mind.
Yourself.
Right. Yeah.
But they said she was. And so that's an issue that I would have with euthanasia, with having a human law where you can legally kill someone. However, my mother, who was bedridden for 8 years and had Alzheimer's, did not. I don't even know. I don't think she was aware of her surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my dad took care of her, and it made me question why. Would God allow someone to live in that condition,
right?
Where they have to have all physical care provided for them. And, she finally died. And I'd asked my pastor, he said, well, that's just so we can be taught a lesson. And what I learned was, my dad, who, took care of her in his house, she never had a bed sore. But I do have questions when it's something physically obvious like that. They declare people brain dead and they take them off life support and harvest their organs. So would there be something to the point to where you can medically diagnose them, not a psychological diagnosis, but medically diagnose them where they're going to have a extremely painful death, it's terminal, and before it gets to a certain point where they can't care for themselves, they lose bodily function, things of that nature, could they voluntarily end their life? I think you can go to, I think that gentleman said Oregon. I think Oregon allows that.
Oregon is assisted suicide, and there's all sorts of, it's pretty stringent regulations, even with it being allowed. Montana will allow you to do it by court order. The place you were talking about was in Canada, and they've actually delayed their assisted death for the mentally ill because there weren't enough doctors signing up for it.
Good.
And yeah, that young woman you were talking about, that came out of Canada. And that's...
I thought it was the Netherlands.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Netherlands,
I'm sorry,
there's a lot of that. Across Europe, there's a lot. The numbers are astounding. Thank God here in the United States, even where it's legal, it's not very common.
Right. Okay. I was curious about it, and I've from having a personal experience with it, you wonder. I don't believe anybody should kill themselves, or you should legally kill someone, but you do question it sometimes when you become personally involved with it.
Oh, and I know
no
from
doubt.
personal experience. Yes, sir.
No doubt.
But I appreciate it, GW. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Yeah, heavy issues. But let's go to TR. Hey, TR.
Hey, you guys, y'all have a good weekend?
Pretty good,
absolutely. Good. I was going to ask you, I got a 14-month-old German Shepherd. I just can't imagine killing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
She had other options, don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Didn't she get caught messing around on her husband's, a couple of her husbands?
That was the rumor. That was the rumor.
The video?
I was just curious.
No, with Lewandowski. Remember the guy who...
I remember the pictures and the stuff from the theater.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no, that's Lauren Boebert.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, first date, reaching down a guy's pants.
That's the one
Man, I need to get into Congress.
Damn right. What I was thinking was that if she can kill a dog, she's laid up with some man. He better sleep with one eye open. What you think?
Get that burning bed.
Yeah, some fellas like that, I guess.
I guess a cat couldn't scratch it. She might cut it off. I don't know. All right. Y'all have a good day.
You too, TR.
Heroin, indeed. 272-9228. So much to cover here. We got to hit another break in a second. But, I mean, there's so many routes we could go. Did you see last week that Mitch McConnell, I do declare, he apologized to Zelensky for not sending aid fast enough?
I did see that story, and I was hoping it was just a lie, but obviously it was not.
And apparently, I don't think this will happen, but Zelensky and his folks are putting out that, his administration and the United States government are working on a deal to fund Ukraine with your money for the next decade, independent of presidential discretion, no matter who gets elected.
And see, that's something that worries me. I think the world is going to realize quickly that Trump is going to be the president, or let's just say it won't be Biden.
See, I'm not that confident. I think it's going to take a miracle for that man to win.
Oh, miracle on ice. Anyway, what I see is the things that they'll do that they always accuse Trump of doing between the election and when someone else steps in, and the laws and things they're going to try to pass. Mm-hmm. I think they are intentionally going to send our country into chaos. I really do.
And you mean by them, you mean the Uniparty. You mean
the
establishment
100% Uniparty.
Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah, not just a Democrat thing. Now, that's who will be taking the blame / credit.
Sure.
But it will be the Uniparty 100%.
Well, and then it came out today, the Ukraine army chiefs reports tactical retreat in the east. and warns of frontline pressure. Yeah,
Surprise.
you ain't kidding. When you look at some of the open source maps, I don't even think the Russians started to push that hard.
That's the thing, dude.
I think they're doing that what they've been doing for the last several months, that sort of slow grind. Ooh. I mean, we'll see where it goes, but I think a lot of this, we're being told a big old fishing story, folks.
Well, that doesn't surprise you.
No.
That's all.
Well, like I've been saying for the last year or two, we just don't believe you anymore.
They don't care.
And they got enough folks who I guess believe them.
I don't think they care.
And in other foreign policy news, Secretary of State Blinken, he's urging Hamas to accept a quote-unquote extraordinarily generous ceasefire deal. Think they'll accept it? No.
Why would they?
Right, because, well, the worry that Israel's somewhat bogged down there in Gaza.
Well, now they want to arrest somebody. See that? They want to arrest Bibi.
Oh, yeah, the protest against Netanyahu over the weekend. Yeah.
Literally want to have an international warrant. Not down with that at all. Because I can easily just as flip on them as anybody else.
Sure.
I mean, God forbid they'd want to arrest Biden. I can't say I'd get in the way, but I'd be pissed.
Right.
Who are they?
Like, who's doing the arresting? Like the UN?
It says the international courts. I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
But, we could go in that direction. We could come back to some of what's happening at the end of the session here in the great state of Alabama, what they're up to there on Goat Hill. A lot of folks, how much ink has been spilled, if we can still use that term. How many pixels have been placed on a digital page from elected officials in the state very worried about the UAW?
Oh, quite a few.
And, we've had these discussions many a time, Eddie, where I know a little bit of the history, and I'm at the point, though, where I think I'm pissing off both sides of this, so to speak. I think both a union and management can screw you, intimidate you, do all the people are people.
There you
go. And so I think it comes down to the specifics of a particular plan, of a particular workforce, and what they think.
But is it your right that you don't even work there to have an opinion on it?
Well, yeah, you have freedom of speech. You can have an opinion.
So would you like the inner workings of this office be blasted all over the news and have people say, hey, we got an opinion on that. Joey's not getting done right. Rick is doing this right.
Right. It wouldn't be cool.
From looking at it from the outside, it's not our business. I mean, that's just my general opinion on it now. It's not my business. It has no effect on me whatsoever.
Right. But I think some of the I would probably vote no. I don't trust, say, the UAW if I was there. But again, I don't know. It's about actually being there and working the details and knowing what's
you
think's best for your situation,
and still get the same membership privileges that a regular union.
Right. So. But the idea that all of a sudden, Hyundai's going to pull out of Alabama, I think is a joke.
But I will say this: they told us that from day one. They used to tell us, "Hey, they'd literally say, look at this equipment. None of it's bolted down. Or I'm sorry, none of it's done permanently. It's all bolted down.
So that's a safety hazard.
So we can unbolt it and get the hell out of here."
Wow.
And then you start doing some research and you realize, okay, that's not the case.
It's just threats.
But there are companies that are having success with it.
But of course, there are people in this state reading more about it. Some of the more interesting opinions have to do with when there were unions in this state, especially around, say, the textile industry.
Sure.
And there are a lot of folks who in Alabama in particular, have a bad taste because of past experiences like that. So we'll see what the actual workers there come up with.
It's up to the workers.
Right.
I mean, and I really have pulled back from it. And I get contacted from both sides. It's not my business. I don't work there anymore.
But you're on the radio.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't make it better at all.
No. 272.
You must have an opinion.
9228. No,
I don't work there.
I don't have to have an opinion about everything.
And even if I do have an opinion, like Katie Britt said about her stories, those are my stories. These are my opinions. I don't have to share with anybody.
Right.
I will if you want me to, but I don't have to.
272-9228. Remember when she told us the story of, don't worry about it, when she told us the story about what happened after the tornadoes?
Oh, yeah.
And of course, over the weekend commemorating it.
That was this past week.
And maybe it's because we were in the room, but she was as serious as a heart attack and emotional, and I found it to be very genuine.
Sucked me right in, man. I felt what she was putting out, the vibe she was putting out, I felt every bit of it.
But we live in a cynical age. Yep. So, like, when my dad heard that story, he was put in an ad. So it wasn't presented in the same way we saw it in person, but he goes, oh, that's a load of crap. So you just never know, like,
get it.
what people want to believe.
Yeah. If
right.
we were to hear that, honest to God, if we would have heard that,
right,
we'd have probably said the same thing your dad did.
Right. But all these folks who see like Mary and Jesus and stuff, can we settle the, like, are they white, black, Palestinian? Like, what do they look like?
I always thought they had a good tan.
Right.
Like most people of that nation, that area.
Like
of the
that
world.
Series, The Chosen, they got it about right, I think.
I thought so.
Yeah.
But who am I to? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
All the pictures I see, Jesus looks kind of white or a little
Right.
bit tan. He's got long hair. I've never seen Jesus with a flat top. Never seen him with a spiked hair. Never seen him bald for that matter.
We better shut up before we get in trouble.
Good idea.
But by the way, a guy kind of looks like a British Jesus, Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Publicly, he got baptized over the weekend, baptized in the Christian faith, and he there's like a 2.5 minute video he just put out today. Be interesting to listen into why he made that choice.
I think he's a guy that's been looking for peace a long time, and I hope this is where he finds it.
And, you know, a lot of folks want to get their baby baptized pretty quick for all sorts of good reasons, but there's something about, you know, I know few people like this in my life who I know personally, family members even, who had fallen away, where like the church they were raised in didn't really stick, and then they chose a church in their 40s or their 50s.
Yes.
And those are the folks, you know, it's one thing to be raised in the church and you may be devout or not. But when you make the choice actively as an adult, they tend to be serious.
Yeah, I would think so.
So we'll get into all that and more after this quick break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Honey, wake up.
What?
I think something's burning.
I don't smell anything.
I'm gonna go check.
Each year, over 65,000 American homes suffer a fire due to an electrical problem. Is your home safe? You can't be sure unless you call Crosby Electric, your exclusive provider of CurrentSafe, the world's foremost home diagnostic system. Crosby Electric will send a specially trained electrician to your home. Using high-tech equipment, they'll check your hidden wiring, panel box, light switches, and electrical outlets to make sure your home is safe.
Well, it appears that we found the culprit. Faulty wiring.
I should have had it checked.
Just be thankful everyone's okay.
For an in-home no-obligation assessment, visit crosbyelectric.com. Don't just think it's safe, know it's safe.
Know you're safe.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACD. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Joey. He's Eddie. How you doing, Eddie?
Pretty good. How you doing, Joey?
Doing all right. You know, can we go to your bailiwick? Is that a word? Your wheelhouse?
All right.
The question of housing.
Okay.
We have a new video from Peter St. Onge.
Oh, boy.
And I guess
do
the
like
headline
Peter.
is Housing Costs Hit Record High.
He ain't lying.
By the way, while we're hitting a record high in housing costs, folks, we are at an all-time low in terms of birth rate here in the United States.
We getting ugly. I've seen some of these people. They don't need to breed.
That's your answer? We getting ugly.
We are, Joey. Look around.
I don't even know
Getting
what that
ugly,
means.
man.
We're getting ugly.
Not everybody needs to breed. No.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's up to you. God has spoken. Or excuse me, Eddie has spoken.
Thank you.
Thought we already established you ain't.
Thank you. I thought we did too.
Yeah, okay. Well, good. But here's Peter St. Onge talking about the, massive all-time house payments hit record high. Let's listen in together.
Housing costs for Americans just hit an all-time high with no relief in sight. In case you were hoping to buy a house and finally ride the Fed's giant money-printing rocket ship, the monthly nut for the median home now comes to $2,775 per month, which is roughly half the median income for housing alone. In fact, it's greater than the total family income for a third of American families, as in young families. As you would expect, according to a separate survey, fully 40% of American renters have given up on ever owning a home. That's up by half since 2 years ago. Instead, they will apparently doom spend until a miracle occurs. The data comes from Redfin, who reports the average rate for a 30-year mortgage just hit 7.4%. That's the highest this year. It is just shy of the 43-year record we hit last year at 7.79%, but of course, house prices have continued to rise since then, along with inflation. As a result, according to Bankrate, Americans now need an annual income of $110,871 just to qualify for the median home. That is up 30 grand since the pandemic began. So yes, Zoomers are doomed. The hope had been that the Fed would start cutting rates this year, bring those mortgage rates down. Those hopes are now evaporating, with Jerome Powell signaling the Fed is in no rush to cut rates this year, since they let inflation get away from them again. The market's odds have gone from 7 cuts to 2 cuts to now floating the possibility that the next move for the Fed could be rate hikes. So 8% mortgages, here we come. On the ground, this all means that it's still nearly impossible to find a decent house. Everybody who refinanced before 2022 is sitting on a 3 or 4% mortgage, and they would be dumb to sell and rebuy at 7 or 8%, so they are locked in. Anybody who has to sell, let's say for a job, has to eat the difference, while everybody else holds on, either sleeping on the sofa so the new baby can have a room, or if they're empty nesters, hogging the 4-bedroom house because they can't afford to flip it into a 7% condo in Florida. This is all driving rents up, but of course landlords are skittish after the pandemic-era eviction moratorium when people didn't have to pay their rent.
Well, remember that?
That wiped out thousands of landlords, and it made the rest very, very careful who they rent to, meaning Zoomers who don't have rich parents are stuck begging for spare bedrooms, wondering how boomers ever did it. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. As always, the Fed is a bull in the china shop, and regular Americans, especially the young and the blue collar, are the victims. By pouring out $7 trillion during the pandemic, they knocked every financial aggregate into a tailspin that is taking years to even out. We're losing an entire generation here, unable to invest nest egg, unable to even find a house to raise a family. The lesson they're getting is that it's not hard work that gets you ahead, it is dumb luck. The economy is becoming a casino, whipsawed by the Fed, and Congress auctioning trillion-dollar bills to lobbyists. What would fix it? Easy/spending to, let's say Bill Clinton levels, then put the Fed on a dollar-first diet of stable rates. Of course, that would take away their power, so it will be a snowy day in the desert before that happens. A fresh episode of the Roundup podcast just went live. Check it out at petersaintonge.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, folks, that's Peter St. Onge. Now, did you detect any lies there, Eddie?
Not the first one, buddy. Not the first one.
Yep. And I've been trying to explain this to family members and so many others. It is a weird time, especially for very young folks younger than me, where it's tough out there, man.
It's very tough. Like you say, the prices have gone up, which is incredible. We still got incredibly low inventory. And there are people, a lot of people my age, especially sitting on a low interest rate. They want to move. They want a bigger house, or even some want to downsize. However,
but you're following the number.
I'm going to go a triple interest rate change to do that? No, I'll just sit where I'm at.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's where we're at. So that's causing more.
Well, and I've been getting into a pretty good position, like say with my car, and I keep getting all these offers, come refinance and a lower monthly. I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather have just a few payments left than get a higher rate.
People fall for that all the time. People's job changes, things change, and all of a sudden, hey, that looks like an easy out. And a lot of times for some people, it will be an easy out, but for others, unfortunately, it's just a road that they start on.
But
and they don't get off.
We talk about this stuff because it's important, number one. And I think this is just another sign, and Peter St. Onge does fantastic work in this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here are these major touch points of what's going on in the economy. But when we play something like that about housing, I say it all the time, especially when we talk about Alabama home mortgage. And I'd imagine with your line of work, don't make your own personal decisions, folks, on housing just based on national, international headlines. It'll probably freeze you into doing nothing.
Well, and a lot of people, like he mentioned, a lot of people are moving, transferring jobs and things.
Right.
You don't want to get stuck into a rental. Rental prices are higher now than ever before, and they're only going to keep going up. I know interest rates are high. My first house, literally first house we ever bought, I think our interest rates was a little over 10%.
Right.
Looking back now, I'm like, you were an idiot to buy that house, but I had the opportunity. I wanted to be a homeowner, and it was right for me at the time. And it did. It worked out.
So you need to look at not the Fed's balance sheet, your own balance sheet, your own economy, your own hearth and home, so to speak. And, I can't recommend anybody other as a mortgage broker than Alabama Home.
100%. I've got them working with two of my clients right now.
They really are fantastic there. Kim and Madeline, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon, they're ready to help you out. Whether you are looking to refinance, now it could be, hey, it's worth it to you because depending on your goals, you want to reinvest in your property, you want to help out the family in some way. Or it could be you're looking to buy right now. Maybe to Eddie's point, you just moved here.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a place that can fit the growing family. Alabama Home Mortgage can help you. They especially can help when it comes to that home buying process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And that pre-approval is like the gold standard of pre-approvals. Like when you get it pre-approved by Alabama Home Mortgage, sellers know, okay, these folks are serious.
They are serious, and they know they're a local lender, which is really important.
And so if you're new to the process, you don't know about the appraisal process or inspections or what it's going to take to finally get to closing day, Alabama Home Mortgage has your back. And of course, if you're a veteran, they know the latest with the VA home loan programs. Yes, and don't be leaving money on the table there. Like you're talking about 100% refinancing. You're talking no money down in purchasing a home. So if you're a veteran and you've never taken advantage of these benefits you earn through your service, contact Alabama Home Mortgage today. Their number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Well, I'm here with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Well, Dot, spring is here.
We're heading into spring, and I'm so glad. We've got some furniture coming in, some spring and summer furniture. It's not coming in too fast, but it's beginning to trickle in. You know, we're just busy, is all I can say, and I'm thankful for that.
It looks to me like you have a lot of items for outside.
We do. We've got the wrought iron furniture, patio things, and booth 70 in the window had a swing, and it was just beautiful. I expect he'll we'll have another one too.
You know, there are a lot of treasures in Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall to be found.
Yes, if you don't see it here, you didn't need it anyway.
All right, give us those hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6, Saturday 9 until 6, and Sunday 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. As the month of April draws to a close and May begins, temperatures will continue very warm. We've got at least the risk of some widely scattered storms on the radar, perhaps later on today, and maybe a better chance of scattered storms tonight and first half of the day on Tuesday. Today's high 86, tonight's low 64. We'll be up around 83 on Tuesday, and then teasing the 90-degree mark on Wednesday and Thursday with more sunshine as the brand new month of May begins. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Check out our special spring savings on Kubota zero-turn mowers, like the Kubota Z411. At 10 miles an hour, it makes cutting around bushes, beds, and trees a breeze. Powering Alabama. Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
What's up, Joey?
Hey, let's get into some of the things that are kind of on the mind of the legislature.
Okay.
As they're about to close
Some
up shop.
gambling? We do some gambling.
Do that motion again. That's with that angle on the camera. You're throwing dice?
That's dice. Yeah, that was dice being thrown.
All right. Throwing dice.
Yeah. Bro, that's exactly. Got to shake them up, shake them up. Boom.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is from the desk of Craig Munger.
Oh, yeah, Craig.
He covers the House side. Caleb Taylor covering the Senate side.
Good job, Craig.
And, well, the Alabama legislature will gavel in tomorrow, on Tuesday, for the 26th legislative day out of the 30 allowed under the Constitution. That's a good rule in the Constitution. Can we lower it, though?
I was going to say, can we cut that down?
Can we cut it down? With such limited time, both legislative bodies will attempt to pass priority bills before time runs out.
Mm-hmm.
According to information obtained by 1819 News, the House is planning on tackling two calendars, one exclusively for sunset bills, which everything is about to expire.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Bump it back
And
up.
the other for a mixture of House and Senate bills. Sunset bills refer to the periodic re-upping of various licensing boards and commissions, requiring the legislature's approval after a given number of years for the board to continue. I mean, maybe we should just be like...
That's a good place to start, Joey.
Sun's getting low.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Maybe cut back some of that stuff, huh? Maybe a few too many of those boards exist nowadays.
It's like organized crime. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Preach.
Rent seeking.
Preach.
So, yeah, maybe we do need to let the sun just go down. Let the sun set on some of them, but they probably won't. But several of the 19 bills on the proposed special order calendar will spark controversy and debate on the House floor. So here's one. Sex ed reform.
I'm curious. And
do you have sex ed?
Yeah.
What they teach you?
7th grade, they separated the boys and the girls. Capitol Heights, the girls went into one basement, and we went to the gym basement. They taught us
You have two different basements?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We learned about syphilis. Chancres.
That shows up later. You don't know initially.
Yeah.
Right.
That, and basically just, we were taught just keep your pants on.
Visual aids?
I do remember some, but.
They show you any movies?
I do remember a movie, but again, we were pretty immature for that kind of film. Lots of giggling.
Lots of giggling.
Lots of giggling. Lots of get yelled at by the coach.
They
But in
have
the
a,
end,
they show you how to dress a banana.
No,
Thank
I think
God.
they were supposed to, but
He
the
wasn't gonna
maturity
do it.
level just wasn't there.
Damn,
for this
I
class.
ain't doing that in front of these. Was it a man teaching
Yeah,
you?
yeah, it was a coach.
Oh, the coach?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I'm not
I
teaching
ain't
these.
mistaken, it was Coach Bowman. But I
If
could
y'all
be wrong.
don't stop laughing about me putting this prophylactic on a banana, you're all getting paddled.
Man, there were paddlings issued. There were people removed from class. It just, come on, we were 7th graders, and there was 40 of us probably in the class. You know, and expect results.
I've already told my story because at Catholic we didn't have sex ed. We had sex anatomy.
It's your mom.
I was 6th grade, yeah. So they didn't have like an in-house nurse. And my mom was like, I'm giving away a scholarship in her name this week. So she was very active.
That's very good, Joey.
In Catholic education. Worked with PICE for the longest time, the Parent Association.
Did she volunteer for this?
I don't know if she volunteered, but she was asked. Because it's like, well, Carol will do it. For those who don't know the story, I'm in 6th grade. It's supposed to be sex anatomy, and they choose my mother, the nurse, to come teach that. The first thing she says,
yeah,
as it gets going, and I'm sitting in the back, I look like Captain Picard. Just
I say, dude.
But she knew. You know how you were giggling and stuff? She knew to get it right out of the way. It was actually an effective tactic, other than her being my mother.
Mm-hmm.
She said, everybody, let's just get this out of the way. Everybody say penis.
Oh.
Penis. Joey, isn't that your mom? Everybody say vagina. Vagina. Everybody together. Let's make a...
Oh, yeah. You'd have been mad at me that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, our class was so mature, we couldn't... Those words were spoken by the coach, but never offered to go back and forth in our vocabulary. Because I think the class would have gone silent if he would have asked us to say that. We were giggling so hard, we just...
Right.
So much respect on the maturity.
Though, I think some sex ed should be around because, seriously, people learning from porn is, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, now, I had my personal sex ed experience from my parents. The Childcraft Library book, I think, it was like 4 or 5 different ones, and we went through cycles that women have and things. I got to sit down with my sisters and read that book aloud.
Oh, we learned about natural family planning.
Yes. Even though it was with family. Very, very horrific moment in my life.
So anyway, the Alabama House of Representatives is considering sex ed reform. It's House Bill 195.
Okay.
Sponsored by State Rep Susan DuBose from Hoover.
Okay.
It would restrict the state's sex ed curriculum and allow for legal cause of action against school officials who violate the bill's provisions. HB 195 would require that any K through 12 sex education or human reproductive curriculum or program teach sexual risk avoidance and encourage the avoidance of any non-marital sexual activity.
Abstinence?
Yeah, that's another word for abstinence.
That's what.
What do you mean, like sexual risk avoidance?
Well, Joey.
Like don't go inside the house of the creepy old man down the block?
I don't think it's necessarily that, but don't be put in a situation where it's you and someone of the opposite sex and perhaps a questionable situation.
Right.
Like a dark room.
Right. Or like band camp.
Exactly.
Right. Nerds need love too.
Yes, they do.
But yeah, it sounds like Susan DuBose wants this to encourage abstinence. Encourage the avoidance of non-marital sexual activity.
I don't have a problem with that, but I would rather than have an actual...
Because that's what they taught you,
program.
to keep your pants on.
Right.
A lot of people, especially in politics, they could learn from that rule.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you over in Highland
We
Park,
should,
Chisholm area.
you know what we should do here in Alabama is just put Mike Pence on video in front of the class, talking about his rule. Now, he doesn't meet with another woman unless my wife's there.
He is a bit of a mood killer, so that might work.
Man, he's going to be tough to replace for Trump. Because he was the Trump translator. Yeah. Anyway, the bill would also, this is, again, HB 195 from Susan DuBose. It's being considered by the Alabama House of Representatives. The bill would also prohibit any sex education program from supporting, demonstrating, or providing a referral or referral to or information about how to acquire an abortion, the use of or providing distribution of information regarding contraceptives, and from using graphic sexually explicit materials. So we got to use fruit or something?
Yeah.
Normalizing teenage sexual activity or promote or encourage non-marital sexual activity. Man, teacher, laying down a lot of rules that I kind of want to break.
Well, that I see that's going to fail. Put that in front of teenagers, and what do you?
Especially this day.
Start planning for results.
No, I don't
not just for
necessarily
what we
disagree with the
dream about.
sentiment, but yeah, like
Plan for results. Come on, know the room. Read the room.
In addition to requiring parental notification of any sex ed curriculum, I think that's a good rule.
Yeah.
HB 195 would also prohibit any local board of education from using the services of any individual or organization that endorses an approach to sex education that does not prioritize abstinence or that advocates for or performs abortion. Well, and given that it's illegal in the state, that makes sense.
I guess so.
But like no information about contraceptives at all.
No, not behind that. Because again, if we're going to do an informative class, let's be informative.
Yeah, but that would go against the spirit of we're trying to encourage them not to do it.
Okay, let's be honest.
So it's a lesson like, kids, here's what sex is, and don't you do it.
Right, and that's what we had, and it didn't work. It didn't work.
Didn't work?
No, dude, come on. How old was Justin how old was I when I had my son? It didn't work.
Were you like 18?
Younger, but anyway.
What?
17, 18.
Good for you.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is, put something in front of them that's going to do something besides kids just laugh at it. That's all we did.
Right.
And then get upset because the outcome didn't come out.
Like
well, you didn't plan for the outcome.
Did they do the DARE seminars for y'all?
Well, they did, but that was just
right.
a big joke, man. That was, and come to find out, do the research. That's just a money grab. That's all that was, dude. That's all that was. It was just a scheme. It was the modern or past day environmentalist scheme that the world's going to end. Then they had the DARE. Look at all the money that was thrown down the drain with that. Sorry, but that's not a good program.
And I never really got the talk.
Really?
No, from Dad.
I didn't get it from Dad.
I've told that story before too.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thunder and Joey.
Yeah. And actually, I look back on that and I go, he did a good job.
He did a good job. Whenever I hear thunder, you're like first, second thoughts, Joey.
Thunder all through the night. All right. Thunder drowns out what the lightning sees. You feel like a movie star. Yeah. So that's the sex ed reform proposal.
Well, then it's not gonna. What are we doing then? I mean, why can't we have honest conversation? These are teenagers. They're curious.
Well, the person to have the honest conversation would be like a guardian or a parent. Maybe get the aunt or uncle involved or something.
If you want it to work, you got to do something besides what they're doing.
Well, the kid, I think for a kid to take it serious, and I'm being serious here, they need some role model they trust.
Let me go ahead and tell you.
And it usually ain't the teachers.
Bring in a couple of pregnant young teenage girls.
Oh, yeah.
To both classes. And just let them tell their story. Now, it ain't going to fix everybody, but that's more effective than anything else I see they want to do.
That's a good idea, Eddie. Yeah, but where are you going to find the pregnant teenage girls?
It ain't hard. It's not, dude. There's still
This
a
is
lot
disturbing.
It's a lot of teenage pregnancy in the United States today.
Yeah. Hold on. Where we hit this? Oh, crap. Hey, could you call Michael Cohen?
Oh, yeah, yes.
We pretty much run out of time here. I lost complete track of time. We'll get to the other bills. They're talking about the state health officer and state committee of health being reformed. Gun purchase tracking is being performed or being introduced, reform being introduced, an automatic firearm conversion ban. That is from, my state rep, the Democrat State Rep Philip Insler. So we'll get into more of that. But the sex ed topic, I think it's, Susan DuBose's heart seems the right place, but I don't know. Maybe the school shouldn't even do something like that. I don't know. 272-9228. That's 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. We should be talking to Michael Cohen here in just a moment. And of course, we could get into what's happening with Ukraine. We could also get into more details about U.S. birth rates fall to all-time low.
In what department? In what age group?
Like all age groups. I was about to look up teenage pregnancy in Alabama. Wonder what those rates are. So we should just do the ad?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as y'all know, folks, we do have to hit the top of the hour break. I'm a client.
Yes, you are.
I'm a customer.
Yes, you are. Actually, I am too.
I love Cohen's Electronics and Appliances.
I didn't get quite the service that Joey got, but I have also purchased a nice television from them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the Airbnb. It worked out quite well.
Well, did you ask them to come set it up for you?
I didn't.
Or were
Michael,
you like, I'm a man?
Yeah, Michael looked at me and goes, you got it? I go, I got it.
Okay, right, I see it. And that's helpless Joey kid. No, his ass from the hole in the ground. So here's the deal, folks. I, being a customer, know for a fact not only the amazing selection there at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances.
Yeah.
We're talking about, theater seating. You're talking about those captain's chairs or the massage chairs. You're talking about some kick butt TVs with their outdoor TVs. Maybe you want an 85-inch, or they've even expanded it, Samsung and Sony, to 95-inch
Holy
TVs.
cow.
With short throw projectors.
We could just have a drive-in theater here.
Right. Or there's all sorts of audio solutions.
Yes. Him and I were talking about sound bars just the other day.
Yeah.
I had a Bose system forever. I really loved it, but the wires just drove me nuts. So I want to go with something wireless. And he mentioned that sound bar. I think it was a Sonos system. And dude, that's going to fit right in my alley, but also in my budget. That's something I can afford. And they've got great top-notch equipment out there. I've got a friend of mine that's actually going this week to buy a washer and dryer. Their last washer lasted less than 2 years.
Oh.
$900 for less than 2 years.
This is why they should have gone to Cohen's in the first place.
Yep.
Don't forget about their grilling options. They do it all there at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. And don't forget that amazing service they offer. They really do inspire confidence there. Eddie and I can both attest to that. So check out Cohen's today. You can always go to thinkcohens.com or just stop at the Boulevard. I think that's the best way.
I think that's the best way to do it.
2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to tell Michael or one of those team members there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We have to hit our top of the hour break. I apologize. I just lost track of time there talking about sex ed.
Reliving some memories there, Joey?
Yeah.
Been there.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
Disappointing. This wasn't what it was
Are you
supposed to be.
reliving your weekend?
No, mine was fine.
okay.
Watched some basketball, ate some food.
Good deal.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Cleanup is underway in parts of Oklahoma that were hit by violent weather over the weekend. Tornadoes flattened homes and buildings, killing at least 4 people, including an infant. Anti-Israel protests on college campuses are growing and in some cases becoming more violent as police move in. In New York, Columbia University student protesters face suspension unless they remove their encampment by this afternoon. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened an investigation into 2 fatal crashes involving Ford's Blue Cruise partially automated driving system. Both involved Mustang EVs on freeways in nighttime driving. At the United Methodist Church General Conference, delegates on track to make historic changes in lifting long-standing bans on same-sex marriage and LGBTQ clergy. This is SRN News.
Our government has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans will be left penniless and heartbroken. For example, what happens if state and federal pension funds go broke? Or if 401ks and IRAs get cut in half due to hyperinflation? Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, news analyst, best-selling author, and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. People who understand something big is coming. Now's the time to prepare with a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Precious metals are among the most proven hedges you can make. They're even better inside a tax advantage account. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached, so just text faith to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you are blessed with continued prosperity.
The Johnny Adams Law Firm, proud sponsor of the Rich Thomas Weather Network. You can't control the weather, but you can control your drive. Be aware of your surroundings in any weather. Be a defensive driver. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of April draws to a close and May begins, temperatures will continue very warm. We've got at least the risk of some widely scattered storms on the radar, perhaps later on today, and maybe a better chance of scattered storms tonight and first half of the day on Tuesday. Today's high 86, tonight's low 64. We'll be up around 83 on Tuesday, and then teasing the 90-degree mark on Wednesday and Thursday with more sunshine as the brand new month of May begins. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
This week, several controversial bills are on the schedule as the Alabama legislature enters its last days of session. House Bill 195 is an effort to reform the sex ed curriculum in public schools in the state of Alabama. This bill would prohibit the promotion of abortion as a form of contraception, as well as limit sexually explicit materials that are used, and it requires parental notification of when the curriculum is being discussed. Another bill would reform the way in which the state health officer is appointed to the position. It gives the governor the final option to choose from a list of candidates that are submitted by the State Committee of Public Health. And HB 389 removes the merchant category codes used by financial institutions and payment processors in order to track the purchases of guns and ammunitions by Alabamians. State agencies would also be prohibited from keeping record of those firearms or owners except in the course of a normal criminal investigation. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A security guard at the Kilby Correctional Facility is charged with receiving payment from an inmate as well as smuggling in drugs. The Alabama Department of Corrections says that Tyree Hoyle received $500 through Cash App and also met with a former correctional guard in Montgomery to receive the packages of drugs to be smuggled in. Hoyle has since resigned from her position. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Medical Outreach Ministries is a free healthcare clinic providing primary and specialty care for uninsured low-income adults in our area. MOM sees almost 1,000 patients annually who are attended to by volunteers, including physicians, nurses, and pharmacists. Please call 334-281-8008 or visit momclinic.org to learn how you might qualify for our services, volunteer, or donate to this vital community service.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his hand. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Hold on to your butt.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
Hey, Joey.
My usual co-host.
How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Now, I looked it up during the break before we were rudely interrupted by our commercial break.
Yes.
Teen birth rate by state.
Ah.
Because we were just talking about proposed reforms to Alabama sex education.
Right.
And it's mostly an emphasis on abstinence. Right. And so I wanted to see, like, how we doing so far with the current program.
Okay.
Well, I believe Alabama is number 5 in the nation.
Out of 51?
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are number 5.
See.
Arkansas is number 1.
Is Utah 50?
Utah's not number 50. New Hampshire is.
Really?
But Utah's pretty low down on the list. They don't have these numbered, but they're very, very low.
Interesting. New Hampshire. I didn't see that coming.
But Arkansas's number 1, Mississippi number 2, Louisiana 3, Oklahoma 4, then Alabama, baby. We're number 5 in the nation when it comes to teen pregnancy. And it really is it's quite a thing. Now, I don't have an exact answer on how to engage in sex education in our public schools in this great state, but, we'll see. But it's interesting. We were talking off mic, Eddie, that this is a lot of southern states that have this issue.
Yeah. Kind of odd. I would think the southern states are typically more your Christian states, therefore there would be lower birth rates until after marriage.
But I wonder if they're including like folks that get hitched at like 18, 19. No pun intended.
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because it could be, we're very Christian. We're birthing a lot of babies.
Yeah, I mean, if they're I didn't think about that, but I would hope that's not in their numbers, because that just, a lot of people get married first out of high school, right away. Pregnant, things like that right away. That might slew the numbers just a little bit.
Birth rate. I'm looking at we're kind of in the middle of the pack when it comes to birth rate. California actually has the highest birth rate.
People-wise, right? They got a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
More and more coming in all the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets so heavy it falls off in the ocean.
Hold on. No, I did that wrong. It's actually South Dakota. South Dakota, North Dakota, Alaska, Nebraska, Utah, Louisiana. Those are your top fertility rates. And I bring that up because, again, we're at the lowest birth rate ever. All-time low nationwide. So
that's strange.
We'll
especially post-COVID. I wonder where we're at during COVID. How those numbers, if those more and more people staying home, if birth rates went up.
Let's go to Paul. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
That got me tickled.
Well, we don't have anything else to do.
It happens.
Exactly.
It happens.
Think about those central states that you was naming off. North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming. What else would they be to do?
A little small town like that, yeah.
Pop the top, take the cap off. Yep, mix your drink. What's going to happen next?
They sell Boone's Farm out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yep.
No, but I was telling Eddie right after he took my call that I got an idea if they would do it, and if there was a way they could do it to where it would be presentable to the young lady who was expecting. Now, kind of like y'all was talking about, let some pregnant teens come in and talk to a class, and then when it comes time to deliver, allow so many to be in the delivery room to see what a person has to go through during childbirth.
Very good idea, Paul.
And then for the young boys,
oh, they're the ones
allow
who need to be
them
there.
to sit. Allow them to sit and talk to the young men who are now being told that they have to pay child support. Now that's the last thing they're expecting to do is pay child support when they get out of school and they start to work, and right off the bat, the state's got their hand out for X amount per child that you've been accused of.
Didn't even consider that. Yep.
I feel like there's a push-pull here, though, where we're like, say, we need a higher birth rate, but a lot of that lower birth rate is because people are purposely, as they get older, wanting to have less children. And yet we're telling it when people are the most full of hormones and young, dumb, and full of energy that don't do it. Don't ever do it. Wait. So
I will say this, though, about that. And I was really young, and until I was probably in my mid-20s, it was very difficult having a young child, no doubt.
Sure.
No doubt. But looking back, it was easier for me to have done it then than when I was older, money-wise. I had much more support when I was younger.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something else I was going to bring up. The young couples who marry early and they go ahead and they enter into parenthood, look at the burden that puts on them, and then they end up having to turn to their family members for assistance.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. But it's, and I know what they're going to go through. At least what I went through, and it wasn't. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, to be honest. It made me mature a lot quicker. Made me realize I was a very small place in the world. And then when I saw my son for the first time, I realized at that point I would do anything to protect that life for the rest of my life. There was no doubt in my mind. Then I pretty much passed out and fell into the chair behind me.
Well, Eddie, even with that part being in mind, and that is one fantastic thing to be able to be there and present and to visualize that happening, the birth of your child, even your first child, not to mention a second or a third per se.
Mm-hmm.
But think what that young man is going to be thinking. Doc turns around and says, "How you doing, Dad?" And he's sitting there, he's standing there, he's turning pale and grabbing for the bag, and I didn't realize it was going to be like this.
I'll be very honest. Childbirth for me was, I won't say traumatic because that's just kind of an ugly thing, but it was something I was not ready for. I've seen the movies. We did Lamont's class. I thought I was ready. No, you ain't ready. You're just not.
You ain't ready.
You ain't ready.
And then I tried to make a stupid joke in the middle of it. It just
ain't ready.
Yeah, it let me know in a hurry. I was not ready. Not ready.
Hey, no, you did.
Oh yeah, I did.
No, I remember this one fictional book where it's time for the baby to come.
Yeah.
And the dude's freaking out, and they're like, "Hey, what we need you to do is go boil water and chop wood.
Give you something to do."
Yeah, and by the time the baby's born, he's like, "What was this for? To get you out of here.
Get you something to do."
Right.
Get you out of our hair while we get this baby into this world.
Yep.
All right. Later, guys.
Later,
See you,
Paul. 272-9228. If you want to hop in on this, but let's change gears.
All right.
A Roanoke, Alabama woman, is warning other online shoppers after she said she was nearly scammed by a gift she received in the mail.
What'd she get?
Her name is Summer Johnson. Summer Johnson opened a package she received over the weekend and was surprised to see a beautiful ring. At first glance, the ring looks to be a diamond ring. Johnson has been searching for rings on Facebook Marketplace recently after she lost her wedding rings. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
She called her husband because this week is her birthday, and she even thought he may have bought her a replacement ring. But when he said he had no idea what she was talking about, she took a closer look. You can tell isn't real or worth much at all, Johnson told 1819 News. Johnson said she felt something strange about the ring, and when she posted about it on Facebook, she learned about a brushing scam. According to the United States Postal Inspection Service, scammers send unsolicited merchandise to people for various reasons. In Johnson's case, a QR code was included in the package so she could register the ring for a warranty. She believes that if she had followed the prompts, scammers would have gotten her personal information. Yep. While it is unclear where the scammer obtained Johnson's name and address, she believes it may have been connected to a website she recently ordered from. She saw an ad for the Love in Faith website, which is a legitimate business. When she clicked on the advertisements from the TikTok shop, it took her to loveiffaith.com instead of loveinfaith.com.
I see.
Unfortunately, Johnson said she didn't realize it until after she completed a purchase. I mostly shop online and recently ordered from a website that concerned me. I immediately canceled it and called my credit card company to change cards. The return address on the package belongs to an industrial warehouse in Montclair, California. Johnson said she changed all of her passwords after realizing the ring was likely connected to a scam. Yeah, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service warns against paying for unsolicited items and answering a phone call about a package.
You ever get a phone call about a package, Joey?
No. Unfortunately not. Never even gotten a text about a package either.
I hate that. Never got a package the next day with chocolates and stuff?
272-9228. You listened to the new Taylor Swift album yet?
I have not been that
I have not
depressed
either.
yet, but I've heard lots of fighting between Swifties and non-Swifties over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Swifties saying, it's the greatest thing ever, and of course non-Swifties going, I could care less. And apparently they were upset about it.
No, I know a Swiftie who's in the family.
Oh, yeah.
And she was saying it all seemed kind of monotone and the same. And this Swiftie did not appreciate the allusions to the Bible and Christianity. Well, essentially saying, I don't need all, one of the songs says something to the effect of, I don't need all that. Actually, Ashley Carter there of 1819 News wrote an op-ed, still trending there on the site. And here's the lyrics in question. What if I roll the stone away? They're going to crucify me anyway. What if the way you hold me is actually what's holy? If long-suffering propriety is what they want from me, they don't know how you've haunted me so stunningly. I choose you and me religiously.
Crappy pop music.
That's the extent of your thoughts?
Into it, just crappy pop
music. I think in the middle of reading that, Eddie thought about it for a second and goes, I'm a 50-something-year-old man. Who cares?
If you ever
Who the hell
see me rocking
cares?
Taylor Swift, feel free to just assault me. Feel free. There might be one Taylor Swift line I like, and that's Shake It Off, and that's usually when my dog comes out of the water and he does the shaking, I'll sing Shake It Off. Other than that, no. Nothing. But I'm glad some people are. So
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. I think I saw a clip of one song that includes Post Malone. Right.
Didn't he used to be a country guy at one time?
No, did you see him get roasted by David Lucas on Kill Tony?
No, I've been watching some Kill Tony, but no, I haven't seen that.
I think Lucas said, you look like a, dude, you look like a unemployed crocodile hunter. You look like you let my daughter draw on your face. And it was pretty daggum good.
The guy who plays Dr. Phil, he also got another character.
Adam Ray.
He has a female character. I
saw it.
Okay, so this weekend I watched like 3 of them, and then I finally realized, oh, that's Dr. Phil.
Well, is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Is it Adam Ray?
It's Adam Ray.
I love his Dr. Phil.
Amazing. But this,
like I said, frickin' hilarious.
This chick thing that he does was before Dr. Phil, I guess, but it was a Kill Tony.
Well, and see, you and I have not had a problem finding comedy.
No.
Do you watch Your Mom's House much anymore?
Not as much. A lot more clips than anything.
Yeah, a lot more clips.
But even Two Bears came out with a statement. It's kind of off air, but anyway, they had come out with a statement that said, "Hey, we know we've kind of been sucking here lately, and they made some changes to their podcast, but they actually announced it, like they're doing less commercials, so feedback's getting back to these people."
Well, sure. Well, and there's a lot of great comedy podcasts, like comedians on the podcast.
Yeah.
And like Theo Vaughn's is great. And not all of them are just like a bunch of jokes.
Yeah, I
but,
love Theo.
Like Theo's very funny. I like the Best Friends podcast. Those guys are Santino and Bobby Lee are quite funny together.
The good thing with Theo, as funny as he is, he doesn't intend to, but he'll fall into something deep all of a sudden.
Oh, sure,
somebody.
yeah.
And
no, you can tell
he's just compelled.
he's been through some stuff in life.
Yeah, and people open up to it.
Well, and seriously, Kill Tony is one of the best comedy things out there. It's just fantastic and a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of comedy. Like stand-up comedy is the goal here. But Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
He made some news with this clip, this interview clip. Let's listen in together.
It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. Now they're going to see stand-up comics because we are not policed by anyone.
This is true. Like, when's the last time you watched like a sitcom?
We've cut the cord, and honestly, the last sitcom I watched was Frasier. Last night I watched a Frasier episode from
But you're watching old,
from mid-90s. Yeah,
right.
I haven't watched a TV franchise or thing like that. I couldn't tell you when. It's just like he just said. It's very cookie cutter. I can already see the writing usually, and everything is their ad placement is no longer just like putting a Coke or a Pepsi in a certain thing. They do things with people now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of anything. Yeah, all my I remember How I Met Your Mother. I remember like a bunch that came out, Scrubs. But I haven't watched these in ages.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Of course, seen Friends.
Mostly most of the ones I watch will be on Netflix. I'll watch series on Netflix.
And they're not really done in the sitcom style by any means.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
And then, of course, Seinfeld. Well, and then the one exception I think the interviewer brings up here.
The audience polices us. We know when we're off track.
Comic stand-up.
We know instantly, and we adjust to it instantly. But when you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke, well, that's the end of your comedy.
Have you had that experience?
No.
Because isn't that what Curb is all about?
Yeah. Larry was grandfathered in. He's old enough that I don't have to observe those rules because I started before you made those rules.
Yeah. And I was thinking Curb's
Curb's the only
a lot
one.
of clips, but TV today is horrible. It's boring, man. And even though we switched over to mainly streaming and I've lost some sports, for the most part, I'm all right. I find more.
Yeah, there are good shows on some of the streaming services.
Really good shows.
But they don't fit that same mold.
Not at all.
Whereas, like, Curb Your Enthusiasm makes me belly laugh.
Well, a lot of the ones that you see, even the ones we follow, podcasts, things like that, they couldn't be on regular television.
Right.
They just couldn't do it. Even though
confused. I know what they mean by television, but like I'm watching these on my 85-inch television.
It couldn't be on NBC, ABC, CBS, PBS.
Oh, no. They would never allow
And most
that
of them
stuff.
couldn't even be on your cable, TBS, and
But
things
that's
like that.
the reality. Let's be blunt. Podcasts are bigger than radio.
Well, that's why I think TV messed up.
Like streaming and like all these other like video stuff is bigger than television.
I think they thought this would be a temporary thing, and so big TV, mainstream media didn't get behind a lot of it, and they're trying to play catch up. It's obvious they're trying to play catch up because they keep failing.
Well, have you ever run across on YouTube a show called the Best Food Review Show Ever? The guy's got like hundreds of.
I think I have because I've seen so many of them. That and
like millions and millions of viewers and followers, and he always wanted to be the guy on Travel Channel.
Yeah,
but then he realized, oh, what am I doing? Like I can do this myself.
Yep.
And he has much more money, much more of a following, much more freedom than he ever would dealing with a corporate entity.
That's so many of those shows like that, food shows like Beard versus Food. There's another one, Blank, That's Delicious. Those are good shows. I mean, I watch them. The food is, if they were on regular TV, well, for the language, they couldn't be, but they would be incredibly, millions of people would watch instead of just several hundred thousand, because that many more people would be exposed to it.
And yet
It's
there
good
must
TV.
be enough people, like there are a lot of folks. I mean, my grandfather used to watch it, like NCIS, it's a lot of viewers still.
I think a lot of people watch the reruns of those shows too. I really do, because it's honestly on TV. That's what's on nowadays.
Right. Well, and it's always like it's kind of like music too. What did you grow up with?
Oh, me. It's
So
pop
I don't
music.
really find myself going back and watching All in the Family or The Jeffersons or anything
I've
like
watched
that.
a
Or
couple.
Cheers even.
A couple Cheers, but one that I found myself watching here lately, and I haven't watched many, but just started with the old Johnny Carson episodes.
I've seen clips. Jack Campbell, you send me a lot of those.
Man, there's just some really good ones out there. And
See,
Greg
I'll
brought up one.
watch old Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, see, Ferguson's your guy. David Letterman was my guy, but I think I've seen most of it, so I don't have the interest. But Greg brought up the other day about a guy that was on Carson's show, and I can't think of his name now. But anyway, you could tell Carson did not want to interview this guy. And, Carson's always jovial, very friendly with everybody. So when he mentioned it, I had to go back and find it. And he was right. That's the only interview I've ever seen Johnny Carson. He just looked like an ass. He wanted to be. He didn't. Somebody forced his hand, and I don't think they ever forced his hand after that. I think he kind of laid down the law. Because whoever his guest was, and I can't think who it was, a real controversial guy, he could tell he was not welcome there at all.
Now, were you ever a Conan guy?
A little bit. I love
I like Conan. Yeah.
I love some of the silly stuff, like the year 2000 skits and things
Mhm.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love seeing Conan just be goofy. The other day he went to Bavaria. I think that's the name of the place.
Yeah, he's got a new travel show.
Yeah. So he put on
pretty
the
good.
typical Bavarian outfit.
I watched one episode of that one.
Yeah,
it
and
was
he
really
goes
good.
to some people and they're like, "You look like an idiot." He's like, "No,
Yeah.
I am dressed in your
Right,
your
and
clothes."
then like he went to the Viking reenactment. Yeah,
I can
no,
see
and it
that.
was a fun show, and he was talking about it in a podcast, saying I never would have had these freedoms with one of the big
And that's
networks.
the thing; he can be as goofy as he wants to be. Which Conan's goofy already, but he can be as goofy as he wants to be on those shows. Big old tall, goofy redhead.
And it just makes you go like, how much of it, whether it's entertainment or any other industry, how much of this has become a zombie economy? Like it's just there because it's been there forever, and it's not what actually where the energy is, where the ideas are, where the talent is.
How often do you turn on your TV just to have background noise? You're right. When you say zombie, yeah, I mean we just have it on because that's normal. That's what we're used to.
Well, let's go before we hit the break here to Randall. Hey, Randall.
What's
how
up,
you doing?
Randall?
What's up, fellas?
Oh, another day.
Oh man, you called me off. I ain't gonna lie. You got me.
Well, I can put you back on hold when you hit this break.
No, I don't care. I mean, but yeah, I was like, ain't no way. So I started chopping it up. I was like, ain't no way he's coming to me. I mean, not chopping it up like that. Man, you gotta watch what you say. Because remember, words matter, ain't that
Words
right?
matter. That's right.
Man, Lord, yeah. On the music scene, have you noticed though everything's going back to more like battle each other? Like even
Here lately,
comedians,
the diss
yeah,
tracks.
like
Yeah.
I haven't
even-
noticed that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
in my
there's
own.
been some good ones here.
No, but
last couple of weeks?
I'm in my
There's some
own
good
bubble musically. I'm not looking at
Well, maybe
stuff.
we need to write you a diss track. Maybe
No,
we
it's
need to have
not.
someone diss
It's
you.
coming.
Well, did
They
y'all
gonna
see
do
the
it.
new Afro Man?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah,
it was hysterical.
Hunter got high. Hunter got
He's got
high.
another hit on his hands.
I
Joey.
met that guy at the Alabama Libertarian Party's convention a couple years ago.
Impressive?
No, it was
Oh.
kind of. It was fun though.
Of course, it's fun.
We went and bought him rolling papers and stuff. I was like, this is the least I can do for Afro Man. And he was lighting
a
up.
good story,
He
though.
was lighting up blunts in the lobby, and
You bought papers for Afro Man. That's one day that'll be like, hey, I did something for Elvis.
it was,
see.
it was great.
Tell me you got an extra one signed. You bought 2 packs, gave him one, got one signed.
No, but he had the whole goblet, like bedazzled goblet, everything, and like, yeah. I mean, but it wasn't. He got way too high. I'll be blunt. Like when he had to perform,
Just pass
and
out.
he had this beautiful flying V guitar that he was supposed to be playing, and I'm like, dude, just give that thing to me. Like,
Were there even strings on it?
yeah, no, he could. You could tell he knew how to play, but he was too high.
Well, you think it was weed? I mean, you really, 'cause
Yes, like we watched him do it, Randall. Yeah.
I know it, but somebody who smokes that much, usually it does not even fade. You know what I mean? It just slows them down enough where they can be around people. If they smoking that, you know what I mean, back to back, it's usually just because they could be out there around you. Because a lot of times,
Yeah, but you do it
entertainers
for a
like that,
number of. Yeah.
They solo. You know how, Joy? Look at yourself. I mean, bro, it's in you. That stuff is in you.
Well, sure.
You can't.
Yeah,
you
but
cannot
there
take it out of you.
are diminishing returns, Randall. Like as you do that stuff year after year, you're getting. I think Afro Man's in his 50s. Like you can kind of it can slow you down a little bit on the stuff you used to do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but usually they do it so they can cope with people. Because like that musician is in you, but it's in you also that you don't like to be around people. It's like that all the way through the entertainment business. You'd be surprised. It takes a lot. And the reason, I mean, if you want to know about the sunglasses thing, the reason is because all the camera flashes. That's, man, you don't want to get caught with one time with your eyes halfway closed and the girl beside you is in a good pose and they can't use it. So you just wear glasses to take that negativity out of the picture. You right there all together. Now,
appreciate that tip.
Now, yeah, now DMX, he used to, there's a garment he used to wear around his head. And I know another one does it, but anyway, when the camera flashed, it would black his face out, and it would do white people saying, yeah, it's a material. DMX had it. I designed a sleeveless hoodie out of it, and man, I had it, even the front pocket had a padding, and man, it was the gun went in there and everything. So you walked around, and you know what I mean, you wouldn't know it. So like. I'm sorry.
Well, you have any new music to recommend to me other than Afro Man?
I say this. One thing you can look up about her is that the girl you was talking about a while ago is that the cussing on the album went up like 3,000%. The language on it, what they call
the new Taylor Swift album.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, like if you, I think 3,000. Maybe it was 300%. But it like went crazy. The language in it. And how you saying all it sounded, the tone of the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's that music is like that, man. It really vibrations. I mean,
I know what you're talking about.
We'll back up off it. All right, let's don't do that. But yeah, she does like the cussing and stuff, and then man, so much good music there is coming, and Montgomery. Just stick to Montgomery. The time is here. I mean, you really. About to have a light shine on, and you can say that it's something you don't want to see or not, but it's coming. I mean, there's going to be a building where all kind of stuff is shot in one building. I mean, like you'll go there, it's going to have somebody's name on it. It's going to be well known. You'll want people to pay just to come get photo shoots here just because of who it is.
Like a soundstage. Okay.
Yeah, that's coming to Montgomery. I mean, it's on the way because Atlanta is top heavy. And ain't nobody behind them to back them up, so the talent's not there no more. It's gone, and the people who there moved there. Like so you got to say like Booster. They are talking down on him. He had to wear his own New Orleans Saints colors to the Atlanta Hawks game because they've been tripping on him, saying that he, you know what I mean, traded because they see in Atlanta running the course. The course is about to end. And I think Memphis had its chance, and they let it slip, and because of what happened up there, and they had its chance, and I think Montgomery is the next one to live. And you could tell by how many people from Texas and Atlanta is coming here and staying a week at a time now, and not just going right back at and stopping here, going through other shows just to lay down a track at DTG. Like it's. Man, it's starting to move, and I'm not just talking about entertainment. I'm talking about I'm talking about artistry altogether.
Right.
South Court Street is coming alive. They have Anthony Thomas has what he does with kids over there. Man, is beyond amazing, and y'all just need to go. Just show support. Like he has different stuff over there, and he lets people. They call it a tiny stage, and he gives anybody a chance. And the talent that's going to touch that and that you'll see on TV is like going to a Biscuits game before you see him at the Rays. I mean, this is the type of stuff that's coming, and I can. I mean, it's just. I mean, and it's because of this station. I mean, a lot of it's right here. Y'all station, Blue Water Broadcasting, is a big part of that. I mean, all the way down to them having the homeschool Sunday stuff shows and stuff, and I can't take nothing away from somebody else too that's done that, but like it's all that stuff matters. It all added up to equal what's coming in the future, and
we shall see, Randall. I look forward to seeing it. But I got to run, man. I appreciate the call.
All right, brother.
See you, Randall.
272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services.
I saw a message on Facebook from Pest Pro Services.
Yeah.
Said, beware, be made aware. Right now in Wetumpka, Prattville, Millbrook, even Pike Road, they are getting reports of termite swarming.
Oh, no.
Which that is, honest to God, one of the most horrific experiences you'll ever experience in your life if you don't know what you're looking at. It looks like something out of the devil. But luckily, you've got people like Ashley and Pest Pro Services you can call, and they will come put the devil back in his place.
Oh, yeah. They can handle those termites for you. And even if you haven't seen a swarm, even if you haven't suspected termites, you should probably call them if you're in those areas.
Definitely.
Because it could happen in the middle of the night when you least suspect it. Like you've been through it.
I've been through that
a few times.
I got the call, yeah.
So whether it's termites, mosquitoes as well this time of year, or any of your potential pest control needs, Pest Pro Services has your back. You can always call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990, or you can go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. Be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellows on the radio, were telling you about those termite swarms. And I need your help, Pest Pro. I need your help. Quick break. We'll come back to Papa B and others at 272-9228.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgage make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It's News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
How you doing, Joey?
Pretty good. Let's go right to Papa B. Papa B.
Papa B. Oh, me, what a mess that goes on in our world today.
Yes.
You know, we started out, you know, with the whole Christy Nome.
Oh, yeah.
She shoots puppies. You know, we just can't have somebody shooting puppies. Come on, man. Don't you know, Eddie, Joey, that term was chosen on purpose? And the purpose was not good. She didn't shoot a puppy. There's nothing wrong with Christy Nome. She's a farm girl. You know, maybe she does have some latent guilt about something. Somebody probably told her to put something in her book that would make her seem more relatable or something like that. But, you know, as soon as somebody on the left gets a hold of it, oh, she shoots puppies. Well, we can't have that.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
it
we
ain't
gotta
just the left.
Well, we all try to, you know, do our own spinning, I guess, but we don't try to mischaracterize people.
I don't think. I want to, I want to know the truth about it. Good, bad, or ugly, whatever it is, the truth is what I'm after. Look at what happened here. All of us are talking about Kristi Noem shooting puppies. That, there was an intention for using that word, and the intention was not good. It was to characterize Kristi Noem. It was also to divide. It probably targeted toward, the suburban moms, which it hit its target. Promise you.
What if they were already against her?
I'm sorry, say again?
What if they were already against Kristi Noem? What if there are a lot of people
Well,
that didn't like her to begin with? Me being one of
Well,
them.
that solidified it. That solidified it for sure. I mean, if they already were so.
Well, and
Go ahead.
if I was telling her, I would have told her not to include
you don't
that
put that in the
story.
book. Duh.
And especially, you don't even have to use the word puppy. It's like, Kristi, why'd you shoot Cricket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave the name.
Right.
And it's a very
Right.
cute name. Like, it
It
just...
doesn't matter. Yeah, right. And it doesn't matter whatever she did. They are going to try to twist it
Right.
and turn it to their purpose. And their purpose was to characterize Kristi Noem as a plain heathen of some kind. And it worked. Their use of the term, they did that. Okay, that was not what she had in mind when she wrote it. I'm certain. He thinks she was trying to tell everybody, "Oh, look, I'm a psychopath." Look, we got
Which is probably a good quality for a political leader to have.
may very well be.
Yeah, we want it, but don't tell us about it.
Well, I think it serves the purpose here for me anyway. I'm going to say this: think of it as a bullet in a war. Okay, this country is under assault 24/7. This is psychological warfare 101. You're not imagining it; it is happening. Don't let people gaslight you into thinking something else. It really, really is happening. This is fifth generation warfare. Any little thing that somebody can do to change, to turn that screw in their direction, just any micro. I always often heard that football is a game of inches. This is a game of micrometers. Each and every time, trying to, we called it spin a long time ago, spinning the news cycle. Okay.
See, but here I hear what you're saying loud and clear, and I agree with you. But Kristi Noem also played into it by then doing this long Twitter post in response about I know how to make painful decisions and take responsibility. She should have just said, "Hey, the dog told me he was voting for Dukakis."
That would have worked.
Yeah.
Well, what are people supposed to do about it, though? They're trying to defend themselves against the false
Right.
accusation.
Right.
You're going to have to respond or not. And I tell you, Trump has got that down to a science.
Yeah, he does.
He knows how to respond to these knuckleheads. And what he does is he turns it right back on the person that made the accusation. He'll go in and he'll find out, okay, who said it? Oh, this guy said it. Well, let's look at his history. And he'll find something about them and twist it around. He knows how to twist the knife, too.
Oh, sure.
And that's what the Republicans need to do is they need to understand the game, how it's played, and how to respond. Sad to say that we've come to this, but all the goodwill is gone, my friend.
I agree.
It's time to do something besides sit there and take it. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, listen, thanks a lot for letting me call in.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
272-9228. Again, that's 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And their River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. They, in fact, love to educate their customers on their roofs. So it could be you got a metal roof. It could be you have an asphalt roof. You should get either one of those inspected on a regular basis for
sure.
Basic preventative maintenance. Now, a lot of manufacturers recommend 3 to 5 years. Every 3 to 5 years. You might as well do it every year.
I would. In fact, I do.
Especially because of these Alabama elements.
Right.
And here's the great news. When you use River Region Contracting at 356-8635, their inspections are always free.
That's right, Joey.
And then if I find an issue, that estimate will also be free. And their insurance specialist there. So they find a problem that your insurance company might cover. Well, They'll walk you through the claims process, make it a swift and easy experience. So check them out today. Again, there's a reason folks are saying that River Region Contracting is the premier, I dare say, roofing contractor here in the area. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and his fantastic team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Hi, everybody. It's been a while since we've had any rain on the radar, but some scattered storms are possible as we go through the evening and nighttime hours tonight and first half of the day tomorrow. Not every town will get wet, and the overnight low temperature tonight down to about 64. Tuesday's high up to about 83. Then, as we get into the middle of the week, the brand new month of May starts Wednesday, and Wednesday and Thursday will be very warm. Temperatures teasing the 90-degree mark with plenty of sunshine. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
This spring, mow with the flow with a Kubota zero-turn mower. John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Kubota Z232 puts power where you need it, when you need it. Save now with our spring specials. Powering Alabama, Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments here. Final shopping minutes of News and Views in the Afternooners. Are calling it online. Joey Clark Live. The man singing along, his name is Eddie Bader.
How you doing, Joey?
Good. This has been a loosey-goosey show, like I was telling you off air.
Yeah,
but it's Monday, and
it's Monday.
Like the world will keep on spinning.
We'll be back again. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Well, we got a little heavy earlier talking about euthanasia.
Oh,
No, Jack Campbell goes, euthanasia.
Yeah, I can so see that. Jack.
No, we were so tempted in that Senate cycle when it was Katie, Mike Durant, and Jessica Taylor.
Yeah.
That, Jack had just had the stroke, but he could talk somewhat.
Right.
And we wanted to record me on my phone. Hey, we have a video question from Jack Campbell. Hey, Jessica, what do you think of euthanasia? And I filmed it, and I just couldn't bring myself to play it for the candidates because I was still.
I know, but man,
I miss that man so much.
Jack
Let's
Campbell
go to Ray Bowles. Hey Ray,
how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I remember one time when I was working for something, I don't remember what it was, the news reporter said, hey, I have a question. Do you think that politicians take bribes? I said, absolutely. Do you have one to offer me?
Good answer.
Open for business.
I said, what are we talking about here? I said, what do you need? And she said, she looked shocked. And, I mean, I said it in a sarcastic way. It went right over her head. She's like, well, like, I need you to vote on something. Would you be willing to take money for it? I said, yes, ma'am. What are we talking about? And I was excited. She's like, would you say that on air? Yes, ma'am. I'll be glad to.
Sure.
No.
The honest politician.
Why not? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fun. You got to listen. Politicians should always have a little bit of fun and make fun of themselves.
Oh, definitely.
And I always tell people, Rob, what are we talking about? Sure. I mean, I'm cheap. I'm talking $1 million. But hey, look, if y'all need a floor, call me at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you a free measurement. Next thing you got a floor. No, you got a floor down. But I've got a customer, so I'm gonna cut it short today.
Okay, man.
285-8117. When you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them, hey, I heard Ray on the radio with those idiots.
Yeah, and I will take a bribe if y'all want to offer me.
There you go.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
All right,
See you, brother.
Let's go to Flower Child. Hey, Flower Child.
Hey, Flower Child.
Well, I can't stand anybody that would shoot a dog. It's against the law. It can be a misdemeanor or a felony, number one.
Well, it was legal in South Dakota.
It's legal?
If a dog kills
Attacks
livestock,
property, yeah, livestock or
and this
property.
dog apparently attacked chickens.
Like they aren't replaceable? I mean, we kill chickens every day and eat them. And so should we be shot too?
No, this.
Some of us.
Well, yeah. Well, this is if you jump onto somebody's property and you just start biting a chicken's neck and sucking it down, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was trying to make the point to Papa B that this is a pretty bipartisan outrage.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Listen, don't you remember when Mitt Romney put the dog on the roof of his car?
I do remember that. And the part I couldn't ever forget was that he didn't see any problem with that. Even after the pushback he got, he's like, what the hell's y'all's problem? It's just a dog, and I stuck him on the roof as we drove across country.
I tell you what, I love Trump, but if I heard him say that he went out and shot a dog just because it killed some chickens,
Yeah.
I wouldn't vote for him.
Don't say that too loud. The press will hear that. And you want to see a news report tomorrow.
I'm sorry. There's just no point in that.
Well, to me, with Romney, it showed a true character flaw. I mean, that's just...
Yes.
He couldn't even talk about hiring women in the right way.
Right.
I had binders full, and I'm looking through these resumes. And by the way, the best meat, hot dogs, folks. I love hot dogs. Just sucking down a wing,
Right.
in buns, outside of buns.
Matter.
It's the best meat there is.
Him and Obama like wieners, don't they?
Thank you, Tucker.
Yes.
But anyway, I don't know. I hope he doesn't pick her because it's going to.
I can't believe, though, they let her, for one, they put it in her book. For two, no one brought this up as an issue. Hey, maybe we just leave this chapter
And then the
out,
response
this line
was
out.
just flat. Again, she should have been like, the dog told me he was voting for Mondale.
Right.
I had to put it there.
Anything would have been better than what she said.
Like, it would make people laugh at least and go, oh, okay. Like,
but yeah,
goodness.
Uh-huh.
I think
I mean, it was some sort of like hunting dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hunting dogs chase prey? You know.
The good ones
Then
do. The good ones do.
The chicken was a prey. You know. I don't know. How old was she when she did this?
I don't even know off the top of my head. You know, I'm in the camp of maybe she was warranted in doing it because there are cases where you got to put down an animal, but it just sounds like the dog was real young and full of
Sounds
spunk.
like there were
and-
other options available.
Yeah, right.
She just went to that one immediately.
But I got to run, Flower Child. I'm running out of time here.
See ya,
Thank you.
hon.
Great hearing from you. Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
Yes. What if that dog killed your little schnauzer or killed somebody's cow? Well, how would you feel then? Out here in the country, if a dog runs a cow, they just take care of it.
This is true.
Oh, that's very true.
This is true.
And so how cute does it have to be before it becomes important to save the dog that's already a killer?
That's why I was like, I wasn't there. It was up to her. I think her mistake, though, was a PR one. Like,
Yeah, it was
you
a
shouldn't have
PR
told us the
problem.
dog's name was Cricket, because now people go, you killed Cricket. And,
Oh, yeah.
and it just, we got to think about it in terms of politics, not in terms of, like, yeah, there are times to put down a dog.
And it's because of his name. If it had been Butch or something,
Adolf.
or if his name had been Killer.
Yeah,
Yeah, that killer would have been a good one.
Right.
Yeah, you're exactly
yeah,
right.
go ahead, kill him, but it wasn't a good-looking chicken anyway.
And we had to put down ham bone. Like, goodness gracious.
I mean, come on. Yeah, maybe it shouldn't have been in the book, but I don't belittle her for it. Matter of fact, I think she's the best choice it could be.
Okay, well,
All
I
right.
appreciate the call, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
And line 4, you're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Sam. I've been hearing this all day, and it's just that it offends me personally, because this is all about she was trying to be a responsible pet owner, and I guess that's just racist nowadays, being responsible and whatnot. It just she wasn't dog fighting, a lot of that around Montgomery. Didn't take long to find that, and wasn't it just the whole thing is it's frustrating, Joey. And I've called your show to vent just for a second, so.
Vent on, Sammy. Vent on.
Yeah, man. Hey, y'all sound great, guys. That's it.
Thank you, Sammy.
And we got to get out of here. Greg Budell with Happy Hour. Well, he's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Police in North Carolina say numerous law enforcement officers conducting a task force operation have been struck by gunfire in Charlotte. Officers from the U.S. Marshals Task Force were carrying out an investigation this afternoon in a suburban neighborhood when they came under fire. Police say multiple victims were taken to hospitals and a SWAT team was on the scene. With spring graduation